back, muggles, mudbloods, and wizards alike. It's another Uninformed Movie Reviews for you, episode 33, y'all. Yeah. How exciting. Back here with David and Danny himself with the two hands. Mm-hmm. And we got a magical ranking for you today. Harry Potter and all of its sequels.
That's a good sequel in itself.
Yeah, great. So for those of you unfamiliar with the podcast or these movie rankings, we're going to rank all of the movies as you might have guessed.
What?
How outlandish, starting top to bottom, if you will.
Well, bottom to top, isn't it?
Bottom to top.
Bottom to top. But
Power
if you were
bottom.
reading this, you would read it top to bottom, I guess.
But we have to agree on our ranking. There's the twist.
Yeah, there's the twist.
There's the twist.
And sometimes it goes smooth, and high fives will be had, and sometimes feelings will be hurt, and grudges will be held forever. But we'll see how it ends up today.
And regardless of the outcome, it is the official list.
It doesn't get more official than this.
It really doesn't.
Santa's list that he checks twice and all that, less official than this list.
Wow.
More informed, but less official.
Yes.
Some would say too informed. He should stop watching.
Wow. Yeah.
Creep.
It's like a Patriot Act thing going on there.
Oh, and before we get into it, it should be said, super spoiler heavy episode.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, but assuming if you're listening to this, you are a fan of the franchise.
I mean, it's 10 years old officially now.
Yeah.
So.
Even older, really, if you count the books.
Oh, yeah, the book.
But the movies,
2007 was the last book.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, didn't Harry Potter come out in 2001? Isn't it 20 years old?
No, 1997. The book?
The movie.
Oh, yeah. That's 2000 or 2001.
But it depends when you count the end. You know what I mean? Like, is it when it stops or?
Deathly Hallows end the book, 2007. The film, 2011.
That's pretty close.
Yeah. 10 years ago. That was 10 years ago.
That's 10 years ago, yeah. So it started 20 years ago, spanning a decade, Harry Potter.
And we are not including Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, just for anyone wondering. I know it's a play.
Yeah. Well, it's also, we're not ranking the books. We're just ranking the films.
Right.
Uninformed film reviews. That's right. UFR.
Uffer, if you will.
Uffer.
I guess before we get this going, I'd like to remind everyone, take a second, look at our YouTube channel, give us a like, a share, and a subscribe. Get some notifications because we do come out with weekly content. You can check out our character limit exceeded for reference. But also check us out on Instagram at Uninformed Movie Reviews. We usually do some impromptu movie reviews here and there, and old David will come up with a graphic and then he'll post it.
I will, man. I'll do it. I'm working on it right now as you're talking.
If you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, do us a favor. Pause right now, slap yourself in the face, and then go give us a 5-star rating.
I love how aggressive your ad flows
It's
are.
tough love.
We're going to get threats at a point.
In no way-
Danny's going to start threatening people.
I didn't say I was going to slap you.
In no way is it a criticism, though. I'm 100% behind it, and I love this energy.
I just have to come out with hard energy all the time. Give us an email. Send us stuff you want us to watch and review or rank, because we're good at that.
Yeah, let us know.
At uninformedmoviereviews@gmail.com. I've done my part.
Lovely.
And why don't you go first, Danny?
Shoot.
Dang.
Yeah, you.
Wait, I'm sorry. Don't we announce these at the same time? Isn't that the traditional ranking?
Our bottom?
Oh, our
Or all
bottom?
bottom?
Yeah, what our bottom is. Aren't we all going to be like,
Okay. Yeah.
right?
You know what? I've never done this before. This is actually my first time.
Oh, hosting the rank?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm sure I've done it before.
I don't know. It's possible you haven't.
So,
Just given how this-
so I guess in unison.
Yeah.
Who knows with the statistics and whatnot? I'm not going to find out. In unison, why don't we announce what our number 8, or also known as our number 7 part 2, on the count of 3. On 3.
Yeah.
1, 2.
Goblet of Fire.
Chamber of Secrets.
Interesting.
All right.
That's
And we have our first point of contention. Here we go.
I do have to say, Goblet of Fire is much higher for me.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I know.
I have to say Goblet of Fire is the only one of these movies I've ever fallen asleep in.
Yeah.
And it's also the reason I stopped watching the movies in theaters.
That's crazy.
Because I was like, that was kind of boring.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about Goblet of Fire. It's pretty I don't know what the word for it is. It just the stakes. Well, the stakes are there, but my issue with it is it just everything is so Deus Ex Machina. There's no other way for me to say it.
I mean, every movie in this series is Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah, but in Goblet of Fire, it's like every plot point is here's information that's landed in my lap that I needed, and now
I would arguably,
You know what I mean?
I would arguably say the one that's the worst at that is the Deathly Hallows Part 1.
maybe, yeah, maybe.
Like
There's
literally.
there's an argument there for sure.
My argument for why, I'll have to concede with Goblet of Fire because you guys are on there.
But you say it's much higher. Well, now I'm playing a strategic game in my head.
How much, you don't have to give it away, but how much higher is Secrets for you guys?
It's my next one, actually.
Okay.
For me.
Okay. And you?
I have Secrets at 6.
Okay, that's not that far off.
Yeah.
Could you guys put Chamber down there? Or, because Goblet's higher than that for me.
I mean, I could put Chamber down if Goblet's next. I'd feel okay about that.
I can do that.
I'm also okay with that.
Okay.
Boom. A deal is made.
Okay.
A deal is made.
My reason so we're putting Chamber now. We'll talk Chamber right now.
Chamber of Secrets.
Okay.
Our number 8.
Let's talk about Chamber of Secrets. Why was it down there for me? It is the Force Awakens of this trilogy, in that it's almost a carbon copy of the first film. It almost feels like a clear cash grab, both the book and the movie. It's not bad by any means. None of these movies are unwatchable.
Yeah,
I'll
that
just
should
put
be said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not going to hate on Harry Potter here. You can take that energy elsewhere. But I mean, it's a good movie. I honestly like that they expand a little bit. You get more into the origin of Voldemort and you get to meet his younger self. There's more mystery into the castle of Hogwarts itself, which in itself is a Deus Ex Machina. Deus Ex Machina. Everything happens there. But it's just, it's not enough originality in it. I think the only things that are original in it that are cool to me is like the basilisk. There's kind of a creepier tone. It's like starting to delve into the creepier tones of Harry Potter. And it's setting up one of the first seeds that will like go into the later half of Harry Potter.
Actually be revisited.
Yes.
Whereas pretty much everything in Sorcerer's Stone is like standalone.
Yeah.
None of that ever comes up again.
And the only thing is that Dumbledore is a utilitarian jerk. That's what's set up in Sorcerer's Stone.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
And I'll have to answer that when we get down later. Why?
You know what? I agree with you about the movies feeling the same. These are both the Christopher Columbus directed movies.
That makes sense.
Not the adventurer, explorer, genocider, but the film director. And yeah, they feel very similar beat-wise. I remember in the books, though, Chamber of Secrets being so much creepier.
It was creepy.
And there's a few scenes in the movie that I think really pull it off, like the blood on the wall and then the mystery too, you know.
Even the intro of like Moaning Myrtle was creepy, you know.
But the first one I think isn't, you know, while the problem is you end in a Chamber of Secrets, both movies. Like the first one could have been called Chamber of Secrets also.
Yes.
They just decided to name it on the item that was in the secret chamber rather than the chamber.
Yes.
Also, there's giant spiders in this one, so that's scary for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aragog.
A great.
What are they called?
Wow, he's a gentle beast.
A great big mechanical spider.
Yeah, but
too.
his children are not that gentle.
Well, thousands of anything is terrifying.
What
you know
is
what I mean?
they're called like Arantula? It's some weird magical.
Oh, I don't know.
Name.
Magical
species.
tarantulas are called?
Yeah, I'm gonna check that. Oh, by the way, we should also say as a disclaimer that we're not including Fantastic Beasts in this.
Yeah, that's
also.
really that's
Which
the disclaimer.
does suck.
Yeah.
You don't like it? I've never seen it.
I've only seen the first one. It's pretty bad.
Really?
Actually, I got a bit of a Fantastic Beast rant, but
There's
I'll
two
save it for the end.
right? Okay.
I remember going to go see it in theaters because I was like, hey, this could actually be really cool conceptually. And I was like, well, could have done something else with that time.
I think the third one is coming out. I think that's what it is. I honestly don't know.
So why don't you guys tell me why Secrets is down there for you?
Well, it's for what you said, man. I mean, it feels like the same movie again. That's really the problem. Whereas all the other movies at least are different.
Yeah, you could at least say that for Goblet of Fire. Like plot-wise, it is very different from the other movies. And then we'll get more into it.
And then between the two, Sorcerer's Stone's more interesting because it's introducing everything. You know what I mean? There's something to be said about all the first moments. You know, Ron and Harry meeting, all that stuff.
You get some pretty iconic moments in this movie, though. You get the Whomping Willow.
That's true.
You get, the Basilisk fight is really cool.
The Whomping Willow that changes location by the time it comes back in the next movie.
And demeanor.
Yes. A lot is different about the Whomping Willow.
To circle back to my other question, it's an acromantula. Apparently, Aragog was born in 1942 and died
knows that.
in 97.
He fought in World War II.
They're able to communicate with humans with speech.
Do you think the wizards fought in World War II?
Some of them had to.
Some of them had to.
There was a lot of stuff going on and they didn't help out with, you think?
Interesting, right?
Now there's an interesting
Were there
side
Nazi
story.
magicians?
Were there
Nazi wizards?
Wizards.
Mm-hmm.
Well, even like in our
Interesting.
timeline, the Nazis were into some pretty weird stuff.
Wow. I wonder if J.K. Rowling would ever go down that path. Probably not. It's
That'd
too
be pretty
evil.
cool.
Too evil for the universe, but it'd be interesting. Okay, so I guess let's move on, right?
It's the Chamber of Secrets, number 8.
Chamber of Secrets? Oh, let me just make sure I didn't... I almost missed the most important thing, the most important part of the whole podcast, all right? And that's that I was keeping track of the amount of CGI snakes that we
snake count.
had. Snake count, everyone.
So how many snakes did we get for Chamber of Secrets, David?
A lot of snakes.
We get 2 CGI snakes.
Does that include the basilisk?
Yeah, this includes the basilisk.
He should count as 5.
So really, not a lot.
Wow, that's less than I thought would be in
Yeah,
the Chamber of
you would
Secrets.
assume, but no. Actually, most of them movies pretty low count. But over the course of the series,
Oh, the total count.
starts building up.
Cumulative count.
Cumulative snaky count.
So we have to hit the numbers before we move on, though.
I guess that makes sense, Danny.
True, we have to do that.
So for Chamber of Secrets, we are looking at a 7.4 out of 10 on IMDb and 82% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Dang, that's 10% less than 1997's Face Off.
Dang, that's rough.
Wild. Made
Valid.
crazy, but makes sense. Budget of $100 million would turn around in box office numbers of $879.6 million.
So even the bad one in the series makes a whopping 8 times.
Well, you got to think too.
worth.
This is the second movie.
Yeah.
After the first movie was just like groundbreaking.
There's a wild hype train.
However,
running
I
into
still
those.
I don't want to release the numbers, but I still don't think it even touched the return of the first one.
Well, this makes. Well, we'll find out. We'll let Numbers Daddy walk us through that. All right. So we've already decided.
Yeah, number 7 is going
Number
to be
7
Goblet
is going to
of
be
Fire
the Goblet
officially.
of Fire. Okay.
My number 7. Should I say my number 7, or we're already agreed to
No,
Goblet of Fire
girl.
being there?
You signed that deal. You made the oath. All right. So Goblet of Fire. Frank, who's taking this one? You're the boss here.
I did mine.
Why don't I take Goblet of Fire here? And part of what I really like about the Harry Potter movies is like all the interactions of the school children, seeing the progression of the school year going along, seeing how they grow and stuff. I feel like this movie has the least amount of growth for the overall characters. We don't get to see them go through so many trials because of the distraction of the Triwizard Cup tournament. And I feel like it makes that year go by really fast. It's like one of the least memorable ones to me. And like I said, it's the only one I fell asleep during like ever in my life.
Crazy.
It's just the least entertaining to me in my head.
This one is also where I stopped reading the books. I finished Goblet of Fire and then I never read Order of the Phoenix, which I would have loved.
This is
if
where
read
I
it.
started reading the books.
What? You skipped the first 3?
I did, because I already knew what was going on in
You
like the
little
first one.
psychopath.
I know. But and it's the largest book from when I started.
Yeah, when you started, it was the largest. I mean, it's
Damn,
still.
so that book has killed the most trees. That's another reason to rank it.
That's another reason to rank it so low.
That book's trying to take our oxygen.
Can I?
Yeah, hop in, man.
So a lot of the reason why I like this movie is because, I mean, obviously I have a bias from liking the book a lot, but it's also one of the... It's the starting point of the second half of the series where things get real dark, but it also lays a lot of the foundation for things that need to be recalled in the later parts of the series too. Like, this is a huge part of growth for Harry because of the death of Cedric Diggory is like a big thing for Harry that gets revisited a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the sparking point for a lot of things for him. And I like it because it starts to make him all grizzled.
Yeah, and he really realizes like the power of his wizardry specifically, like in that movie. That is like a big point.
And it also expands the universe much, much more. You get to see wizarding schools from all over come in, and there's more, but fantastic beasts in this movie too. There's like
dragons, yeah,
and I was like, they're well done dragons too, even for back then.
They just look like Game of Thrones.
They're hideously misunderstood creatures.
Yeah, and you get like the creepy parts, like the labyrinth and what is it, the mermaids and stuff like that. The creepy. I don't know. There's like all the trials are really cool to me.
Well, we also get that opening scene that's like in the house where they're interrogating that guy, the old man.
Right.
And we can hear Voldemort, but we can't see him.
And you see Nagini for the first time,
Nagini and Barty Crouch Jr. That's a really creepy scene.
Yeah. That's probably like my favorite stuff of Harry Potter. Like all the creepy backroom stuff, the secret societies.
And that's straight
the
off the
that really
page.
Tickles my pickle.
Just how that book starts.
Yeah, it is.
And it's I don't know, man. It's really cool. It's darker. It's not as dark as my favorite in the series, which I'll talk about, but I mean,
yeah.
I like this movie because it is unique in that regard.
And this is like a little bit of a turning point here too, as far as visuals go. This is the first one where we get that very different palette and tone, where the first movies, things are kind of rich in color, and then everything gets a little bit gray and dreary in the later movies, and it starts in this one, which I think matches what Danny's talking about, because there are some moments in this movie that are like very, very sad. Whereas the first three movies, I mean, even in Chamber of Secrets, there's the threat of kids dying and stuff, but everyone ends up okay. So it's not like a big deal.
They're very Disney-ish.
They get better later.
They get better later. But then this one, it's like, no, it's not going to get better. It's not going to magically get better.
Yeah, I mean, this is like the first... I mean, they touched on it a little bit in the previous one to this one, but like this is the first instance of like wizarding death. People don't come back. People die.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I mean, Harry's parents.
They won't go away.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that is a great point. Great counterpoint from Frank. I got to shout out one of my favorite effects in this movie. Do I have this right? Let me see here. This is the one with the fireplace, right? Where we get
this is the one with the well done fireplace.
Yes, because it comes back in the next movie, I think.
Oh, are you talking about the flu, whatever?
The face of Sirius Black.
Oh yeah,
in the fireplace.
Oh, that is so cool.
Yeah, that is a really cool effect. I thought that it was Prisoner of Azkaban though. That would make more sense, wouldn't it? Well, no, because he doesn't even meet him until the end of the movie. Yeah, so it's definitely Goblet of Fire. I just want to make sure my notes were right. We also get Aleister Moody in this movie, which I think is...
I love Mad Eye.
Yeah, Mad Eye Moody's a great character.
They did him wrong.
But although... And I mean, we don't have to keep saying spoiler alert, but... spoiler alert. It's not even him.
Yeah.
Right?
We also don't get to meet Mad Eye till the very end of that movie.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a Polyjuice. Who is it again?
It's Barty Crouch Jr.
That's
It's
right.
Doctor Who.
That's right.
Yeah, it's one of the doctors.
I love how hard Barty Crouch Jr. goes, like for his character. He's like extra sniveling and just like,
oh yeah,
aren't I evil?
He is so evil, man, and I love
beautiful.
it. I love it.
I feel like I should say that my number 7 was.
Well, don't say it. Yeah, we're about to get into that.
Oh, okay.
Don't
Go
spoil
ahead.
Yeah, we're
it,
gonna
man.
get there. We're gonna get there. You chill out.
Besides, it's a snake count time.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Hit us with the snake count.
Everybody, we have one snake in this movie.
That's right. You heard it. One whole snake.
It's the snake right at the beginning.
Nice.
If I'm wrong, I don't want to hear it. Don't even type it in the comments. Keep it to yourself.
Don't at him.
Okay.
So since Danny's chomping at the bit, why don't we hurry up and get to numbers? We'll get back to this ranking. For Goblet of Fire, we got a 7.7 out of 10 on IMDb and 81% on Rotten Tomatoes. Made it on a budget of $150 million.
Jesus.
Would turn around $896.5 million.
That's almost like the same ratio of return.
Very similar scores for the bottom two.
Yeah.
Which means that people like stick around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're not scaring anybody.
I liked
off.
this one.
Okay, well, let's get into the argument now, right?
Well,
Yeah, that's what you came here for.
my number 7 was.
Oh,
Oh.
we gotta say it together, man. Come on.
Oh, well,
no,
this,
wait, no.
this was
This
number
is your
7.
number 7.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm being a jerk. Give it to us.
Number 7 for me was Order of the Phoenix.
Really?
Interesting.
Yeah. Didn't like that one half as much.
This
it's a very frustrating movie.
is gonna be contentious.
Yeah, for reals.
Okay.
I'm like not even close yet for Order of the
Crazy.
Phoenix.
Okay, are we on 6?
Or as it is in my notes, Order of the Phoenix, Arizona.
So we know that Danny's got
This would be number 6.
Order
yeah.
of the Phoenix coming up next.
Right.
Frank, let's say ours together. You ready?
This would have been our natural 7s.
I guess natural 6.
6, yeah.
We're on 6 now. Well, yours were out of order too, though, huh?
Yeah. Okay, but I know what I would have in this slot now.
Okay.
I've already rearranged everything in my head the way it needs to go. 3, 2, Prisoner
Deathly
of
Hallows Part
Azkaban.
1.
Really?
Whoa! What?
Interesting.
That's crazy for me. Both of those are crazy for me.
What are we gonna do?
Who knows at this point?
I cannot concede Prisoner of Azkaban. It is too high for me.
Yeah.
I also can't have Order
can't
of the
do that.
Phoenix there. It's way too high for me.
Shoot.
Deathly Hallows Part 1?
I could put that there. I could put that there. The movie's just a giant setup anyways.
I don't know. What do you think, Frank? This is official.
This is crazy. I don't think we've ever been split 3 ways like this.
Yeah, and like by a considerable amount on some of
Yeah.
these. This is not going to end well.
All right.
So are we going Deathly Hallows Part 1?
I could.
Does someone have a counter argument?
No, I guess we'll have to.
Wow.
It's closer. It's closer to part 1 for me, I guess.
For sure.
Because
Okay,
I will
cool.
agree with Danny that it is a whole lot of setup, but I love.
It's good.
I'll say for the whole series, like for the entire arc, I love the rising action of the story arc. Like the stakes get higher and higher as you go on.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't mind it that much about the Deathly Hallows because honestly, at this point in the series, that's what I'm in it for. I'm like, yeah, how far towards the peak can we get before we get there?
Yeah. And you know that everything that's coming up after the setup is going to be great.
Yeah.
And it ends well. It
Yeah.
ends really well on
That's true.
part 1.
We might get a chef's kiss out of Danny by the end of this.
Wow. This movie starts off with a CGI snake, everybody. Just want to let you know. Right at the top. And this is that like torture scene.
Yeah. It's intense.
This movie starts
the
off
one where
pretty
she's like in a
horrifying.
cruciatus, right?
Yeah.
Or something like that. Who is a professor, right?
It's it's a professor of Muggle studies.
That's right.
Who we've never seen before because
never
that class has got to be kind of boring, right?
Yeah, I'm sure Hermione took it when she was using the time turner thing. That's when she took that credit. I love one of the scenes right at the top. I mean, Lucius Malfoy, also known as the bad guy from the Patriots.
That's right.
He's got great performances because he's mostly like sniveling and weak.
He's so sniveling
but
at this
also
point
so
of the
hateful.
series.
Yeah,
you
towards
know
the
what I
end,
mean?
he becomes such a
He seems so foreboding
Yeah.
in the first parts of the series. You know what I mean? Like, ooh, Lucius might be Voldemort. Oh,
yes.
Yeah, I really love messy Lucius when he's got the constant 5 o'clock shadow.
Yes.
His eyes are all red.
From like Order of the Phoenix on, he's
Yeah.
just like, I'm sorry, Master. Like the entire time.
Oh my god, I messed up. I should have never messed around with these people. They're so much more dangerous than me.
And I love when like Voldemort takes his wand,
Oh yeah.
makes his family watch.
Just like cracks it.
Yeah.
God.
Oh, so beautiful.
It's great. It's great. But I just want to reiterate from my point of view. I love all these movies.
Yes.
This was gonna get. I mean, I'm not gonna be upset about anything. But to me, Deathly Hallows Part 1, if it was a standalone movie, if it wasn't called Part 1, then people would be pretty upset because it doesn't really. Not much happens plot wise, but what does happen is character wise, and that's what I love about this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We get like the most quiet, reflective moments of Harry Potter, which, if anything, is probably what's missing from most of these movies. Especially if you're like a book fan, is that they go by too quick, and they got to cut out more of the
There's a good amount of character development. I mean, and also you get to see behind the scenes of the grander plot more in part 1, like as far as it goes with like Dumbledore, and as long as it goes with like Snape and what we're talking about, like Harry just comes to the realization that some big things are going to have to happen for everyone to go on. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it serves its own purpose as a utilitarian type of film in the series. But yeah, you're right.
We had to do part 1 to get to part 2.
Yeah, you have to do
And this is also, I think, in the era where like part 1, part 2 movies were starting to become like a money grab.
Oh, that's right, because they had like Hunger Games did it, Twilight did it.
Smaug.
And I feel like this was the one that maybe started it, actually. Or if not, it was pretty close. It was like, whoa, Harry
Then The
Potter's
Hobbit
breaking
did it,
into
right?
2 movies. Yeah, The Hobbit's like a decade later, though, isn't it?
No, it's like 2012, I think.
2012? Okay.
I think. Let's see.
It's just so weird that that movie feels a lot later to me than Deathly Hallows does for some reason. The last Hobbit, anyways.
2013 was Desolation of Smaug.
And how did they do that? Did they call it Desolation of Smaug 1 and Desolation of Smaug 2?
No, was it the Battle of the Five Armies 2 and 1?
I don't even remember this now, man.
I know.
It was just a CGI nightmare.
Yeah, I've never finished those
That's
movies.
right.
I was
It's
so
An
I was so
Unexpected Journey, The Desolation of Smaug, and The Battle of the Five Armies, which is from one book.
Yeah, that's a little different. That's a little
small
bit different. Whereas like Twilight did Breaking Dawn Part 1 and Breaking Dawn Part 2. You know what I mean? They and there's someone else who does it too, but I don't know. Who cares? But Harry Potter had to do it. I mean, it was just so long.
It's a huge book.
Yeah, imagine trying to get people to sit down for what? They were both
4
like
hours.
2.5 hours.
Yeah.
They're both long.
It's like a 2.5 and 2:10.
Yeah.
That's a long time to spend watching a movie. Your butt would die.
Like people might like have health issues.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We can't do that
Get a
anymore.
blood clot.
You can't show like The Deer Hunter in theaters anymore.
Yeah.
You crazy?
You want to show a 7-hour movie? That's right. But yeah, I mean, other than that, Deathly Hallows is a great ramping up. It ends on a.
It's dark as hell.
It's like, okay, what's happening next? And yeah, the only thing for me is that, man, this one's like really Lord of the Rings. Like when they get the Horcrux necklace thing, it's like, wow, let's just do a Lord of the Rings bit for 45 minutes because that's all it is.
They hit it really hard.
Yeah, they really do. And it's like, J.K. Rowling, what are you doing, man? Like, you know, this is the most famous fantasy thing ever, and this is Harry Potter's probably what, like second or third most famous
where
fantasy?
the Horcruxes start talking to him and all that.
Well, no, where it's like, oh, you can't carry it anymore. You're getting angry.
yeah.
You need to take a break from
the
it.
burden of it.
Yeah,
Yes,
it really was, and that was annoying.
Yeah.
If anything, it's like, okay, you know this has been done already.
Yeah, exactly. It's just it's so obvious.
You know what? That's a good point. I've forgotten about how silly.
But
that
they
was.
also had to like insert some sexual tension. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Between Ron and Harry and Hermione that has never been there.
That is a bit of a weird thing, but that's the anger of the Horcrux getting to you. It's not you, Ron. It's the Horcrux.
What I really liked in this movie was the animated cutscene of the explanation of the Deathly Hallows. I thought it was really,
the story of the three brothers.
really good.
That is really nice.
And
That's nice.
for those who have played Resident Evil Village, it's almost akin to that.
Yeah, it also reminded me a lot of Krampus.
Krampus, that's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
very similar to
Very
that.
cool, like it's like a silhouetted style
Yeah, it's an interesting style.
of CGI. I think it is CGI, but
Like
it's
some
meant to
kind of
look
like a shadow box kind of thing, or
Yeah.
something, like a projection of shadow.
and even the movement's supposed to look like a stop motion kind of
Yeah,
thing. You
it's
know?
really cool. It's
Yeah.
a really well done animated scene.
And I liked it. I liked the lore of the Deathly Hallows. I thought that was very cool.
It also, this is a bit of a side tangent, but Harry Potter is so rich in size and scope that, a movie can't do it. And I was thinking that, like, man, a TV show would be really good, like a Netflix
Yeah.
adaptation. But then I thought,
I think HBO.
Netflix would just ruin that thing. you
Yeah.
know what I
oh
mean?
yeah, no, I want like a Harry Potter anime. You know
Oh
what I mean?
man, that would be so cool.
Damn.
Then we're gonna get into some really precarious situations with Ron and Hermione. They're not even gonna wait to get to.
Hey, they're the perfect age for anime.
Yeesh.
Got them.
Spoiler alert for the upcoming
the
character
Evangelion
limit
talk.
extended.
Have you seen the what's the word for them? Like the illustrated versions of the books that are coming out slowly?
No.
No.
They're up to like
Oh,
Prisoner of Azkaban.
You're talking
I
about the
think?
big ones, right?
Big ones.
I'm
yeah.
reading one of them right now.
They're awesome.
They're really
They
cool.
take a long time, but they're awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, not that. I mean,
It's not longer
for them
but-
to be made.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like they're only at like Prisoner of Azkaban?
No, Goblet
Or-
of Fire came out. I saw the story
Goblet
the
of
other day.
Fire. Okay.
And they somehow kept it about the same size as the other book. So
That's
they must have
crazy.
changed the font size. I don't know how they did it. I didn't look inside and investigate.
Illustrations are great. It's beautiful.
Really cool. I'll have to show you Frank after this because some of the
Very
scenes
interesting.
are like, I don't know. It's great.
And you see, they also did some of the Game of Thrones. I think they did Game of Thrones up to the second one, up to Clash of Kings so far.
Well, it's a straight up comic book of Game of Thrones too.
And it's awesome.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, that one's cool.
But yeah, anime of any of these would be great.
That'd be sweet. That'd be really cool.
Make more anime.
It's what Frank demands.
Calm down, guys. Let's calm down here. They're making just enough anime.
I'm sorry, it's Americanime. Make more Americanime.
American anime.
I kind of hate that.
Yeah, I hate it too. Thanks. I hate that.
Everybody disliked that.
I think it's numbers time.
Numbers time. So actually, the internet has the box office shared for part 1 and part 2. So I'm really just going to get into the rating and the budget, and then we'll unveil the box office later. But 7.7 out of 10 on IMDb with a 77% on Rotten
that sounds
Tomatoes,
right.
which is also the same score, if you will, mathematically, in case you were wondering. It was made on a budget of $250 million.
Jesus.
Woo.
That's colossal.
So many millions. And you know what?
is that a-
Spoiler alert.
Is that a combined budget though?
Yeah, combined 250 million.
Of both of them?
Yeah.
Well, then that's
Oh.
just about the same as all the rest of
It's
the
about
budget.
125. That's actually
million
under.
piece.
Yeah.
Or depending on how you distributed the cuts and whatnot.
I'm sure the first one was cheaper.
Yeah. There's a lot that happens in
It
that.
was probably like closer to like 200 million
Yeah.
or like 150 million for one and 100 million for the other.
Yeah.
Didn't they make us wait 2 years for that one too?
No.
For the second one?
No.
Or
I
was it the year
Dude,
after?
I think it was like 6 months or something,
Oh,
wasn't
wow.
We got to find out.
I'll
Let's
check.
see. And
I'll
go
check.
back to the IMDb.
it? Yeah.
So let's see. Deathly Hallows Part 1 came out 2010, 2011. But
okay.
month-wise, when did they come out? Are these are like summer blockbuster movies, right?
No, they're usually
I think
winter.
they're
Are they winter?
fall,
They're
aren't
usually
they?
like Christmas time.
I don't remember. I saw these in theaters.
At least the
I saw
first-
them with Michelle.
The
actually.
first 4 were around Christmas time, always. Or Thanksgiving,
Yeah, that sounds right.
because they maximize.
So Deathly Hallows came out July 2011.
Okay.
Part 2. And for Part 1...
I'm guessing Thanksgiving or Christmas.
Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Looking stuff.
For Part 1, it came out November
Yeah.
2010.
Yeah, so a little over 6 months, right?
Quick little turnaround there.
Okay, so Azkaban was June 4th. Trying to see if there's a trend. Goblet of Fire.
The trend is we got it. Put it out.
Right.
All right, it's ready to go. Let's make some money.
All right, and then it goes back to November with Goblet of Fire.
How interesting.
I usually remember them being around
Well,
Thanksgiving.
These are almost filmed back to back with a couple of exceptions.
That's crazy. Really.
Like I know that like Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone premiered, and the next week they were shooting Chamber Secrets.
Wow.
So they hadn't even they were working on Chamber Secrets before they knew the reception of Sorcerer's Stone.
They just knew it was going to sell.
I mean, at that point,
Well, the book was already such a huge deal. You know what I mean? And they must have been spending millions on merchandise getting all that ready.
Oh, they made
So
much
they
money.
knew what they had on their hands for sure.
Plus, from a business standpoint, you got to try to bang out as many of these films as fast as possible before one of these kids dies or something.
Wow.
that too.
But
You never know.
You're not wrong, because look at
River
Dumbledore.
Phoenix. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dumbledore has a good point. Of course, that guy was very old. Anyway,
Just the more reason.
Plus, you got them covered in like robes and hair, anyways, and like a giant beard, easily replaceable.
so this is a bit awkward because I already know what your guys are going to have next, right?
Well, I mean, I didn't say what my number 6 was.
But what's like next for you? Because we've robbed you of a couple. Or should we announce it together?
My 7 was robbed. My 6 was robbed. Well, I didn't even get to tell you guys my 6. We're on 6 now. We just finished 6.
Yeah, the
No, we're
Deathly
on
Hallows Part 1 is 6.
Okay.
And we are
we're
now
on
going to 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, like,
Did you hit snake count for Part 1?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, yeah, you hit it up top. Yeah,
It's right at the top. Just like in the movie.
Single snake.
Single snake.
Well, I guess my next... Well, we're going to 5. My 5 was Goblet of Fire.
Okay.
So I can say what my
But
one...
aren't you missing one? Isn't
I
there
am.
a movie we skipped
Yes.
over for you? Which one was it again? Half Blood. No.
No, 6
Order
for
of
me.
the Phoenix is the one that you haven't gotten yet.
That
right?
was my 7, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And then my 6. Do you want to know my 6?
Yeah.
Sure.
That was Sorcerer's Stone.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. Actually, so I have I could put Sorcerer's Stone at 5.
I would actually be a little more comfortable with Order of the Phoenix because that's what I have next.
Huh.
It's my Nat 5. I rolled a natural 5.
That's fine. Let's see. What feels better for you?
I'd honestly feel better with Order of the Phoenix at 4.
Okay.
Because I have Order of the Phoenix top 3.
Wow. Interesting.
I love the whole secret society thing in Order of the Phoenix. It's the
pretty cool.
beginning of
it's cool. I hate Umbridge.
Oh God,
Umbridge is so frustrating.
and that's what she nails it.
I mean, she's great.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
it just makes me not want to watch it.
It's a frustrating character to watch.
Yeah.
But then you get to see her carried off by a bunch of centaurs.
That's
She
true.
comes
And who
back.
knows what yeah, but you don't know that yet.
Yeah,
you don't
it's
know
true.
that yet. It's
true.
very satisfying.
You know what? Just because in Order of the Phoenix, Harry Potter says, "Why don't you read the Daily Prophet like your dumb mom?" Just for that.
Yes,
Just
he put
for that.
Seamus in his place.
does, dude.
That is a really good one.
Let's go ahead and go Sorcerer's Stone.
Hey,
I'm good with that.
Yeah, maybe
Everyone's number
five.
5 is Sorcerer's Stone,
Sorcerer's Stone.
also known as the Philosopher's Stone.
I mean, these are pretty, like we said with Chamber of Secrets. You know, it's just kind of a friendly little movie. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's so quaint
It
compared
is.
to the rest.
Yeah, the quaintness is
Yeah.
like what had me rank it so low
I
originally.
think if you thought about it as they never made another Harry Potter movie after the Sorcerer's Stone, could have stood on its own. Could have been great on its own. Could have watched it here and there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a great movie. It's self-contained.
we
It'd be
might have had
annoying.
it in our
Yeah.
faux Christmas movies.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
that's where it would live.
Yeah.
It would be annoying if it ended there because you'd be like, man, what happens the rest of this time?
Yeah.
But yeah, in a world where it wasn't successful and they stopped, I think it would still be pretty well
good.
loved. The problem is they get so grandiose and epic that when you just look at the first book, it's like, wow.
It's
Like, okay, well, we had to introduce all these
epic.
characters. We find
Yeah.
out who Harry is. And
that's the best part.
Yeah, it's the introduction.
It
Yeah,
lays
you-
out the world.
Discovering the world for the first time in film. And a lot of it, like,
It's, dare I say, magical.
it's got a little bit of that Willy Wonka-ness to it.
Yeah,
where
for
the,
sure.
The kids are all pretty much new actors. I think Daniel Radcliffe was in a couple things, but like Emma Watson, this was her first role ever. So to kind of just show up as being like, you're just a kid and now you're part of this $100 million set that's like a literal, like living and breathing magical world.
It's almost like she was born amongst the Muggles and then grew
Yeah.
to be one of the most powerful witches that would ever live.
Yes, exactly. So that's really cool. And the kids do such a good job.
Yeah.
Like the young actors, they really got lucky with the casting. Or
Yeah.
they didn't
And-
get lucky, they did a good job.
And you have like really dope actual casting of like prominent actors. You got freaking Alan Rickman.
Ugh.
You got Maggie Smith as McGonagall.
And Alan Rickman was saying that, like, he was like, normally I wouldn't do this, but I had a lot of or what was he saying? Nieces and nephews who told me I should take the role or something like that. He just got like pressured in by young people in his family.
What,
the
what a
best-
good decision on them.
He's the
For
best
reals.
character in that entire, like, one of the best characters in this entire story.
Snape's good.
And who else you got? You got Ray Fiennes, but he's not in this one.
No.
Warwick Davis.
And you got original Dumbledore, which we didn't talk about.
Vern Troyer.
Yeah.
He
Vern
does all
Troyer's in
the
this?
walking stuff for
No
Warwick
way.
Davis does the voice.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Although I think there's a little bit of there's a few times where Warwick Davis is playing the actual part.
Huh.
Because I saw a couple behind the scenes thing. I think maybe
That's
he
probably
did,
like the stuff where he's sitting.
Yeah, I think yeah, exactly. When he's doing something a little more, because Warwick Davis must have been pretty old at that time.
Yeah.
And I
Robbie-
think he sticks around for a while too.
The actor for Hagrid's pretty prominent too before he gets in there.
Yeah, I think he's in.
He's pretty huge.
Isn't he in? He's in one of those British. Is it Snatch? No, it's not Snatch. I can't remember what.
Cracker.
You know what it is? He's in James Bond.
There it is.
Every Bond has like a side character. Like I know you guys aren't, James Bond people, but Bond always has that friend. And whenever James Bond is recast, that friend is also recast. So like most of it is this guy named Felix. It's like an American CIA agent. And there's a Felix in the new Daniel Craig Bonds.
Oh, okay.
But he usually the friend character, because Bond is so formulaic, the friend character shows up for like a scene to help Bond with like one piece of information that he needs. He's always like, "Oh, I'm in Prague. You know who I could contact?" And then he like hits up his buddy. Anyway, in the Pierce Brosnan movies, he is like this Russian like KGB agent.
That's crazy.
And he's like Bond's buddy, and he shows up all the time. But they're like reluctant friends. Every time they show up, they fight a little bit, and then he like ends up getting intimidated by James Bond, and then he like plays along. But that's what I always think of, because that guy's in GoldenEye.
Oh, nice.
And he's hilarious. He's so good in those movies.
He's great.
He's really funny.
He is. Oh my gosh, I just saw his name. Something Coltrane. Robbie Coltrane,
yeah.
Robbie Coltrane.
And yeah, man, Hagrid's the best.
Oh, you gotta love Hagrid, man.
Especially Hagrid's first appearance.
Oh, how I've longed to imagine just getting a bear hug from Hagrid. Oh
yeah.
Oh boy, probably a little smelly, but I bet it's great.
And you got to watch out, because he might make you like babysit a very dangerous creature that he's nurturing.
Dude, that sounds dope. I'm down.
There's a lot of lines at Hogwarts that shouldn't be being crossed as far as like safety of students.
Yeah.
And most of the things that Hagrid does with his students are like, you'd get fired.
Questionable,
for
at least.
sure. Yeah, and I guess he does get fired for a bit, but
yeah, he gets taken to Azkaban.
yeah. Wait, does he? No, he just gets
in Chamber of Secrets. No, yeah, because they think he's responsible for the kid getting
You're
petrified,
right.
and they try to take him to Azkaban.
I feel like he doesn't actually go though, or something
No.
like that. Like he's on his way, but they clear it before he ends up there.
Yeah.
Which, when you
Man,
can
that would be
magically
sad.
teleport, you got to wonder, why is it taking so long to get someone there? But
You don't see apparating like at all in the first
No.
3 or like 4.
it's
even.
in that way, it's a lot like Dragon Ball Z.
The instant transmission.
Instant transmission, where at one point it's
Oh my
introduced, and then it's just like, okay, we can go wherever we want.
Yep.
Oh,
Let's go to Namek.
I did. Remember we spent 20 episodes flying in that giant round spaceship going
being
to
in a
Namek?
hyperbaric time chamber.
Yeah, you remember that? You remember that, guys? Don't worry, we just got to touch our head now. Okay, we're back on Earth.
Yeah, it's
What's up,
really
everybody?
stupid.
Wow, good old Dragon Ball Z.
Never use that logic anywhere.
Anyway, back to Harry Potter.
Yes, please.
Don't worry, we'll keep the Dragon Ball Z comparisons coming. Yeah, I mean, Sorcerer's Stone, you can't hate on. Oh, there's one other thing I had to throw out too. Really, first off, some of that early CGI is real rough, and the troll scene, and it's not even the troll, but it's Ron.
Yeah.
It's CGI Ron on top of the troll. Man,
Some GameCube graphics.
maybe.
It's as bad as their
PS-
3D CGI in the
Yeah.
later film.
Yeah, for reals. So that's it. That's a big one. And it's also a bit of like a cartoony movie. There's like a little bit of wackiness to it, where maybe it's Chris Columbus is what it is, because
It's the Chris Columbus touch.
Yeah, but it's very hammy, and then we're gonna see this kind of go away, because I guess also the fans get older too. That's part of the whole thing. Oh, I'm sorry. I had really 2 more things. I'm miscounting here.
Please.
This is the first setup of Snape being what has to be the ultimate red herring of all time.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? It's like every movie we think Snape
like,
has
wait,
something
are
to do
you
with
bad?
it. Are you bad?
Every time.
No, he's not bad. He's not bad. To the point where it's like, have you been really good this whole time? It's like, what?
Oh, man.
Snape, yeah, Snape's something else, man. But then, of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't throw in a CGI snake count
Here we go.
for our single CGI snake in this movie. Again,
There it is.
At the zoo, right?
there's one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it.
The guy at the zoo.
Pretty solid, though.
Yeah,
Pretty cool.
Good looking snake, actually.
Good looking snake.
A good looking snake.
Scares the crap out of Dudley. It's a great time.
Really good.
And then he's just like, all right, I'm going to go live my life as a snake in the city now.
Dudley.
What a nice guy. Anyway, that snake comes back in the book.
Really?
I'm almost 100% positive
I don't remember that.
I think so also.
that Harry meets the snake again. And there's even like hey, you freed me from the zoo that one time.
Maybe it was in Order of the Phoenix, the book. I'm not sure.
Well, I didn't read that far, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, Franklin.
It's numbers time, y'all. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone's rocking a 7.6 out of 10 on IMDb with a 64% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
That's way too low. It's criminally low.
It is pretty low. Maybe they just didn't like how cute all those little chitlins were because they were tiny, cute little babies.
I wonder if it's like later generations watched it and they're just like, wow, this is stupid.
Maybe.
And like, you know what I mean? After
Maybe.
once they got into Harry Potter.
Those Gen Zers aren't crazy about the Harry Potter.
They don't like magic movies.
It's because they're lame.
They're dumb, though. What are you going to do?
You know?
Yeah.
Made on a budget of $125 million.
Wow.
This absolute juggernaut would make $1.007 billion. Dollars. Billion with a big old B.
Ooh.
It funded like the next 8 movies.
Wingardium Leviosa.
It's a lot of magical wing wangs, y'all.
Dude, that is so many wings.
That's a lot of
That's
galleons.
a lot of galleons and sickles and knuts. Dang, dude. That's where you get that John Williams money from.
Yeah.
That's why you bring in the John Williams.
He stops coming back at a certain point, though.
I think it's like the next movie.
No, he's in Chamber of Secrets.
Is he?
But
well, I think he's going to be credited in all of them because they use his themes. But I don't think they keep the main man aboard all of them. They definitely like, and you can tell because later the music, especially like Goblet of Fire. The music's just kind of like, okay, this is super generic.
They say he returned for Chamber of Secrets.
Okay,
I'm going to check.
So he worked with his buddy Chris Columbus on those too. But anyway, well, while Danny's looking that up, I guess we got to get into the nitty gritty of.
Well, I think we've got from the previous.
We have an idea.
Really quick. Azkaban was the third and final with John Williams.
Oh, okay, nice. That's good to know.
Makes sense.
That does make sense because actually Prisoner of Azkaban's got a dope score, man. Yeah, it's a good score. Okay, so where are we at? Let's just be upfront about this.
We're at number 4.
We're at 4.
Order of the Phoenix was up for consideration for this.
And Order of the Phoenix is it was my 5, so I'd be down.
Okay.
Cool.
Are we cool on Order of the Phoenix? Yeah, because you had it at 3, right?
For you. It was in your top 3.
I had it at 2.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
That's crazy,
Really?
bro.
I'm very much looking forward to watching Order of the Phoenix again.
That's crazy.
You should tell us why Order of the Phoenix is
Yeah.
so great, I feel like.
Dumbledore's army, man.
Dang,
Bringing
yeah.
back
Yeah,
the learning about the Order of the Phoenix, learning about the people who fought the original fight, like getting to see like how organized they are now, which can only lead you to imagine how organized they were before. That it's like a consolidated effort of good versus evil. We get to meet the rebel forces, if you will. Dude, I'm all about it. You know what I mean? It was the Red Dawn of the franchise.
That's why.
Seeing these kids like train in the room of necessity,
requirement.
The room of Deus Ex Machina. Yeah. Literally.
This one I can't accept only because in Harry Potter this makes sense.
Oh yeah, when that
Hogwarts is like there's some
the school for young wizards would have a room like this.
It's frustrating though. When I realized it and watching it, I was just like, get out of here.
but like Goblet of Fire is literally like, oh, Neville has the book. I mean, some of it is explained later why. I'm trying to think of a better example
with
of
Tom
Goblet
Riddle's
of
journal.
Fire.
Oh, with Goblet of Fire. Oh, I'm sorry, not Goblet of Fire. I'm thinking the Chamber of Secrets. You got Gryffindor's sword. First appearance of the Deus Ex Machina sword.
It might be. We also have Harry pulling the Philosopher's Stone or the Sorcerer's Stone.
Yeah, from
out of the mirror or
yeah.
whatever. But that's also kind of set up though. So I don't know. It's we could get into an argument. We'll do a second Harry Potter podcast.
Just arguing. We'll cut out all the agreements.
Just arguing the Deus Ex Machina. Yeah. We'll just list them all and debate whether or not they're cheap in the universe. But also, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, Frank, but we got to throw out that we're movie watchers. We don't know the books. Like we talked about this before, but a lot of these things we're complaining about, as far as like, oh, this is really thin or whatever. It's probably makes more sense.
Maybe they're explaining. Maybe
that's a little. I'm assuming and hoping that that's a little bit of movie magic of having to fit it into something consumable.
We got to give it the benefit of the doubt a little bit.
Yeah. I can only assume, even though J.K. Rowling just keeps making herself more and more unlikable as time goes along, I can only, I have to assume she put in the work.
Let me make sure future generations won't touch my universe.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, man, I love like especially like all the training stuff. I love what's her, I can't remember her name now. But the new this year's Defense of the Dark Arts teacher, Umbridge.
Yes.
I love her as a baddie, man. A super unlikable baddie.
Definitely.
Like from the moment you see her in her pink with her smile, like, oh, that's the villain this round. This is who we're fighting against.
Or even
nobody's that cheery.
I think she shows up at the
ministry,
at the hearing that they have for Harry at the beginning.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. From that moment, you see her with her like fake smile, her fake plastic smiles. Like,
I just don't think she's wearing pink in that scene. Is the only thing, Frank. But
I bet she's got a little bit of pink
robes.
on. I bet you can see like her collar like underneath the robe.
You know what? Fun little behind the scenes fact. But Nymphadora Tonks, old Nymphy, she has pink hair in the book, and in the movie they decided to make it purple because they didn't want to mess with color associations.
Okay.
They were like, pink has to mean Umbridge for this movie.
Yeah.
And this was Nymphadora Tonks' first movie, so we're going to change her hair color. But fans were all like, why is her hair color wrong? It's like, let's calm down, people. Who cares?
Just lie to the fans and be like, no, it's right. You guys are colorblind.
Something got messed up in editing. Sorry. Color balance is off.
It's a very strange hue.
You know, I love this movie too, man. There's some really, really cool scenes in this one. I love the opening with Dudley being a bully in the park and then talking about like,
that is a great opening.
Like, who's Cedric? Is he your boyfriend or whatever?
Costuming like nailed his like British like suburban thug outfit too.
Yeah.
Oi.
Yeah, dude.
Bruv. But yeah, I forgot I was gonna do this whole episode in a British accent. Too late.
That is commitment.
Too late, guys. Sorry, you never get to have it, everyone.
It's your best accent too.
It would have really ruined the whole podcast. There are two things I have to throw in here. One, man, the carving pin is like one of the most messed up things.
Yeah.
I mean,
the screams from the children when it's happening.
That is so crazy. I love that. But then also the fire effect in Order of the Phoenix, they bring it back after Goblet of Fire and it looks super lame. Where in Goblet of Fire, it was literally like the coals moving where his mouth.
Oh, the fireplace effect.
The fireplace effect. Yeah.
I was caught up thinking about the fire and the room requirement in Deathly Hallows.
Yeah. No, they bring back the same effect with Sirius
good.
talking to the fireplace, and it looks so lame in this movie.
Yeah, it's really bad.
It's like, why didn't we? What happened, y'all? What happened?
Yeah, it's really not good.
But
I also really love like the ongoing gag through the movie. Like she's putting all these orders out, so as the movie gets longer, Felch.
Felching is something else.
Yeah. But if you make that joke 8 movies in a row, you're going to mess it up on the podcast. Is the thing.
You gotta practice like you perform, Frank.
Yeah, right. That's where I messed up. But like he keeps getting progressively higher and higher on this ladder until he's just like all the way at the top, and that thing's like super wobbly. Yeah. God, it's so funny. It tickled me pink.
I want to see what the Weasleys' punishment was in this movie.
Dude, for setting off all them fireworks?
Yeah.
During what do they call the wizard?
The owls.
The owls.
Yes.
Their standardized
testing. That's right.
Standardized testing, yeah. Because even the school system and wizards are messed up.
Even though...
Hey, how else are they supposed to know how to distribute funds like throughout all the magical schools?
I wonder if Hogwarts is funded by taxes.
Well, it has to be because Hogwarts has free tuition. J.K. Rowling has stated that on Twitter. She said, hey, just now, this is canon. Hogwarts has free tuition. Which is why the Weasleys can go.
Yeah.
Legit. There's no way they could afford to send all of those kids to
even though their
school.
dad works at the Ministry of Magic.
He must just not be good with money. And they're probably like, can you imagine how much all those kids eat?
He's probably like the accountant there or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah, to have like a low-level job.
What does he do?
Speaking of Weasley...
He unjams the paper shredder.
No, he's the Muggles relation... What is it? Muggle relations. I forgot what the official title is.
Interesting.
But that's really funny because he also doesn't know anything about Muggles.
Yeah.
And that's his job. And that's like a running joke.
That's how bureaucracy works.
Yes,
yeah.
exactly. And it's like a running joke throughout the movies. It's hilarious. It's so British. It's like a nice little touch of British humor.
The Misuse of Muggle Artifacts Office.
There we go. So it's like, and then he doesn't know how the subway works. You know what I mean? Later
Oh
on in
yeah,
the
he's
series.
like, these muggles are interesting.
Yes, and he's always asking Harry all these questions. So how does this work? Like that's a really good bit.
That is
they
a
keep
cute
going.
scene in the subway.
I love him. He's so good.
And speaking of Arthur Weasley, we have a CGI snake.
Hey.
He gets attacked in this movie by a
Yeah.
CGI snake. We still keep the CGI snake train rolling
He only lives because of Harry.
because of Harry and his visions.
And that CGI snake was Nagini, right?
Yes.
Yes,
You could assume. He's like hanging out with Voldemort this whole time.
Confusing because at least book-wise, we don't know Nagini's name until pretty late in the game. But we assume
Don't be snakeist. It's not like they all look the same, David.
some of them do. Some of them do, man.
Some of them truly do. That's
Yeah.
like a genetics thing, you know?
Yeah.
You know, they got patterns.
Yeah. I mean, other than Harry Potter calling Seamus's mom stupid, that's pretty much it for this one.
That's really good.
I'd say this is like one of the most the biggest saving graces of this film is that you really see like emotional development for Harry after like he is really dealing with Cedric Diggory being dead, and like even in this film, it's like weighing on him, and you can see that not only for Harry but like as the character, but as Radcliffe. Like Radcliffe is growing as an actor and a person, and you can really see that like conveyed here. And I think that's one of my favorite parts is like seeing his dramatic gravitas on display.
Because they all do a great job the whole time, but it's like, yeah, like at the end of this, they've been acting in like 8 like huge big budget movies. They're like bringing the heat by the end of this
Radcliffe
series.
was going into everything too. He was going in a lot of stuff, and he started getting his own films.
Yeah.
He was starring, you know, and good films to be said, but to be sure. But yeah, that's what I like about this movie for sure.
You know, I'm not the. I think Daniel Radcliffe's a little bit of a. He's like a mid-tier actor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's not the best.
Have you seen Swiss Army Man?
Yeah, I've seen Swiss Army Man.
Love that movie.
Yeah, when there's a few that like when he nails it, it's like.
Have you seen Horns?
I seen parts of it.
No. Okay.
I don't know. I saw the ending, so I mean that's probably the worst part to watch.
Yeah.
But you know, it seemed all right. I was like, he's got horns. He's angry about it. See, that's the movie.
I bet I'd be angry too.
Other people are gonna be upset because he has horns. What's that guy got horns? We should kill him. There's the movie.
There's when you're born with something like that, there's only one of 2 ways it can go. It's like, oh, let's burn it, or
Yeah.
like it's a god.
Yes, or X-Men. You get a bit of both.
Yeah, depending on like what part of the world you're born in.
Exactly. Okay. Noon Bears?
Number time. Order of the Phoenix bringing in a 7.5 out of 10 on IMDb and a 77% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay.
Made on a budget
right.
of $200 million. It's going to bring box office numbers of $942.2 million. So really close to that billion mark, but not quite.
Let's go out and buy millions of dollars worth of Order of the Phoenix. Let's get it there.
Nah.
I'm not down, nor do I have the means. Even if I wanted to.
Fair enough.
We could steal them, but it wouldn't be helping.
We'll just do a whip around real quick. Between the three
Just
of
have
us,
a
it can't
quick
be
whip
that
around?
much.
Yeah. Nice.
Anyway, all right, guys. Are we going to announce? Are we going to simultaneously say the next one?
Shoot, we're in our top 3 now.
Top three.
My third. Okay.
Okay, here we go.
All right. No.
Wait.
I just had to scan to see which ones weren't officially ranked already.
All right. I can do this.
3, 2, Prisoner of
Deathly Hallows
Azkaban.
Part 2.
Whoa.
We all picked a different.
Yeah.
Well, Prisoner of Azkaban was left behind for me at this point.
Oh, that's right.
That's
so
true.
I had
Yours
to, like,
is
get there.
yours is way low.
Yeah. I cannot concede Prisoner of Azkaban.
Interesting.
My natural 3 was Deathly Hallows Part 1.
Yeah.
But I have Half-Blood Prince down there.
You still have Half-Blood Prince left behind.
Interesting. I just, I like Deathly Hallows Part 2.
I love
It's a great movie. But does it have the punch that Half-Blood Prince has? You know what I mean? That Dumbledore scene in Half-Blood Prince?
Man, yeah, that ending.
Come on,
I
man.
know. This is going to be hard.
Snape
because
and
all
Draco,
of these,
yeah.
This, and it's, if anything, this is the pre-setup. Like Half-Blood Prince.
It's the pre.
Yeah, this will get you pre in because it's perfect.
So that's what we have left, right? We have Prisoner of Azkaban, Half-Blood Prince, and the Deathly Hallows Part 2.
Yes.
That's what's left on the table.
Yes.
Who's gonna budge?
Well, interesting. Where do you have Prisoner of Azkaban then, Danny? Like, is it your one?
It's my one.
It's my number one.
That's crazy.
Oh, wow.
Prisoner of Azkaban. Hey.
Spoiler alert.
Damn, that's crazy.
I
I have Part 2 as my one.
Let's just say I could put
Interesting.
part 2 at the 2 or the 3 spot. I'm okay with that. But because it serves its purpose and it's a good ending. But,
it's a great movie.
yeah.
Man, this is hard.
Half-Blood Prince is dope, though.
Half-Blood Prince is dope. That's the top half of this rank. They're all dope.
Yeah.
Dang, should
gets
we
tough.
just do? We'll just not even fully rank the movies and tied for first. In a 3-way tie.
Unprecedented 3-way tie.
In the third
This is the spot
round.
where it's gonna get really tough, man. My hands feel clammy.
So you want Half-Blood Prince, and we want
We all want something
part 2.
different.
Yeah, we all want something different for top one.
Wait, for the top one? What are you
We're
saying?
at number 3.
Well,
number
for really
3?
these top 3 spots.
For
Yeah.
number 3, I want Deathly Hallows Part 2, which I think is a great ending. It's got great moments. We get nice wrap-ups on the character. But man,
I could do that. You know what?
Half-Blood Prince is like
Man,
pushing ya.
for me, I can't do
Part 2 down there?
Azkaban over Part 2.
Oh, well,
wow,
I think
that's
you're going to be
crazy.
outvoted there.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know what else to
crazy,
tell
man.
you. I don't know what to tell you. Prisoner of Azkaban.
with-
Unless Danny and I budge on that.
With part 2, I do agree that part 2 has to happen. It's a good ending. The epilogue gets kind of boring, and I don't know if we needed it
Interesting.
in ways.
I love the epilogue.
I think
I
it's
felt
cool.
the exact opposite way. I was like,
was
oh
like, I
God,
would-
I'm so happy they did this because I was
Really?
already sad that I wasn't gonna know.
I wanted more epilogue.
Like,
if anything.
yeah, for real.
I get-
in,
yeah,
that, in
okay.
that small black part, I was like, oh my God, no, they're not gonna get it. And then I was like, oh, thank God.
I want a
Okay.
Return of the King length epilogue.
Well.
Yeah, I was upset during Return of the King. I would gladly take it in Part 2.
In part 2, there's a really great sense of helplessness. Like it gets
Yeah,
to the
there
point
is.
where you're just like, I don't know if this is gonna end happy.
Hey, are they gonna lose?
And
I never buy it though. That's the only thing. Like
Yeah.
I know Harry Potter's gonna be fine. Maybe it's
Yeah.
because I just knew the story the whole time.
It's because you're forgetting your suspension of disbelief. You're like
guess.
you're not like on the right 100%.
I just don't believe J.K. Rowling has it in her to kill Harry Potter.
No.
well,
That's the only thing. Going into the movie, I already know, like Harry's gonna be fine.
yeah.
Maybe Ron will die, maybe, but you'd have to be too gutsy for that. The best they can give you is a George,
Exactly.
which is sad. But you're
Oh,
not
that's
even
so sad,
You're
yeah.
not even sure which one it is.
I
You
feel
know,
Yeah,
like
that's
like
true.
conceptually it's really sad. Like this
Twin-
this being
yeah.
that shares a soul, like one half of the soul being ripped from the
sad.
other's life. Oh God.
yeah. I don't know if twins share a soul, Frank.
I'm pretty sure they do.
Matching souls, maybe. That's like a Nazi doctor
Yeah, same
statement.
soul.
This is my first time watching part 2.
Oh, weird.
Ever.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
So I didn't know how everything ended.
This was my first time watching everything after Goblet of Fire.
That's
Really?
even crazier.
Congrats, man.
Yeah,
There's
like-
some good stuff.
Yeah.
He didn't know Sirius
I was like,
Black died, you know?
man, I hope this is
What?
okay. And then I started getting
Really?
in, and I was like, whoa, give me more. What an amazing ride.
You also get the end of Severus Snape.
Yeah. Wait, so did we decide this? Are
No,
we doing
we're still-
Deathly Hallows
Can we
Part
do-
But no, I feel like at this point we're trying to do this discussion is happening because of this crossroads.
We're trying to
we've reached,
justify
man.
where
Yeah,
we're
it's
putting
trying to
things, I guess.
justify-
Try to justify, yeah.
I mean, I'm okay with putting part 2 down there. If we put Half-Blood Prince up, because Half-Blood Prince it's great.
Are you saying it's Chef's Kiss?
It is Chef's Kiss. These are all great. But number 1 is
So are you saying Deathly Hallows Part 2, Half-Blood Prince, Prisoner of Azkaban?
I could do that for me.
Are you down to ram this in on Frank because now he has no choice because we're
shoot.
agreed, the two of
I
us?
have choices. I'll just stop the recording and never release this.
This will be my
I'll just pull the plug of the whole thing.
this will be my half vengeance on Sixth Sense. Only,
Oh, no,
Only
'cause
Frank
it's
gets
only
the
on one.
retaliation.
Yeah.
Well, that is interesting because then like would be the thing Danny would eventually get screwed over on because that's how this is going to play
It's like,
out.
yeah, Frank and I are gonna line
Yeah,
up on
because I'm going to
something.
be like pissed about this. And then, like,
It'll
yeah.
probably be something about like, oh no, we already did Shyamalan.
Yeah, we already did Shyamalan. That's where we hit.
We'll
this
do
is
like
where
a
this all
Jurassic
started.
Park movie ranking, and then you guys can just
I mean, Lost World.
Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom.
you mean
number
Jurassic
one.
Park 2.
Okay, so Deathly Hallows Part 2.
I'm cool with it.
All
there.
right, here we go.
Lame.
Here we go.
Okay, so can we talk about Deathly Hallows Part 2?
Yeah, dude,
Okay.
let's continue our conversation.
Yeah. Rad AF.
Yo, it's rad.
It's,
Are you talking about the small character in that one season of Weeds that lives next door to the Botwins?
Is that rad?
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't even remember
I
that.
didn't know
How
that.
weird.
What an obscure
Dude,
reference.
yeah, it's so I can't explain how my brain works. You said rad and I picture that stupid little redheaded kid being all annoying.
Oh, I know.
Hi, I'm rad.
I know who you're talking
Yeah.
about now. I know who you're talking about.
Silas Banks' his mom.
Oh, okay.
I have. Oh yeah, it's what's her face from Modern Family.
The cheese lady.
Yeah. I have one note
Okay.
for Deathly Hallows Part 2, and that is CGI Snake X Fire Snake. Because spoiler alert,
Yeah.
there's a total of 10
wow.
throughout Harry Potter.
There's a.
and,
Oh,
and-
you mean cumulative total of snakes?
yeah, there's
Oh.
only 10 in the whole series.
Wow.
But there's one in every movie at least. And technically there's 2 CGI snakes in Part 2, but I already counted Nagini at the top of Part 1.
She's in
and
a
I
lot
felt
of
like,
these.
do I count Nagini
Yes.
again in Part 2?
Yes.
Okay, then CGI Snake XI, Fire Snake. There's 11.
Yeah, there is fire snake.
You should count it because it was definitely a different render.
Do all of those statue snakes in the Chamber of Secrets count again?
No, I'm only going moving
Real snakes.
CGI snake.
Just the ones that go.
Well, I mean, what else do you say? It's like Part 1 is
Did you like how it ended?
is putting water to boil, and this is like it boiling over.
I felt like it was a perfect ending.
And then you make some tea. I love this. I love the ending, man. I wish that they had brought J.K. Rowling in to finish up Game of Thrones.
Oh man.
Hey, George R. R. Martin can't figure this out. Get down
Yeah.
here. Write us this ending real quick.
I thought it was interesting that, like, in Part 1, they introduced the concept of the Deathly Hallows, which no one knew about prior, at least for me in the other movies.
Yeah.
And they already have Harry unknowingly possessing one of the Deathly Hallows.
It's an interesting kind of like little retcon going
Yeah.
on. She has to. I mean, in a perfect world, Deathly Hallows would have been on in the background throughout all.
That would
7.
be cool. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they hear about the Elder Wand in a class in their first year at Hogwarts or something.
Well, what movie does Harry get the Vanishing?
Sorcery
Is the first
Stone.
one?
The Cloak of Invisibility.
The Invisibility Cloak is the first one.
yeah. And
But-
he gets it from the ward, the armoire, right?
No, it's delivered to him in the mail. It's Dumbledore. Dumbledore sends him his dad's invisibility cloak, which gets confusing. And I was wondering what you thought about this, because when Ron sees it in Sorcerer's Stone, he's like, "Whoa, that's an invisibility cloak." Those
Like,
are,
as in, yeah.
And then he says like, "Those are rare," or he says something like that. Or I've never seen one of those. But Ron makes it seem like
He knew about it.
well, that it's just like a thing,
Yeah.
you know, like you can somehow get an invisibility cloak or like
That's a
buy
little,
one, make one.
it's a
But
little bit of a plot hole.
doesn't Deathly Hallows make
It's
it
only
seem like
one.
it's just one?
There's just one from that, from what Death granted.
or there's maybe one that's only one is death proof.
Yeah, I think it was like that special Vanishing cloak,
That special one.
invisibility cloak.
Whereas the other ones are like toys.
And Dumbledore had the Elder Wand the entire series up until that
Yeah,
point.
Up until that point.
And
Well, I was reading this thing online about the story of the three brothers and like and I'll give J.K. Rowling credit on it that she maybe did it on purpose, but like Lord Voldemort, Harry Potter, and Professor Snape, they mirror the three brothers in the story.
That makes
Voldemort
sense.
being the one who's seeking great power, and then being able to beat death.
to strike down the wizard. Right?
The one who's like searching the lost like love of their lives, which is like Snape. He's
Snape.
constantly chasing it, which leads him to protect Harry this whole time. And then Harry.
Interesting. Ooh, that's
Which
really
was
cool.
he
Harry-
wants to see his mom and dad, right?
Well, yeah, Harry who would go on to like greet death as a friend. He like would not fear death.
That's why he gets the stone. And it's kind of funny that I hadn't thought about that before. That's really cool.
Yeah, me neither.
Well,
I was
presume-
definitely one of those.
Presumably the stone Dumbledore also had the whole time. So for most of the series, the entire Deathly Hallows is at Hogwarts.
Yeah.
It's just all there.
And the stone gets really like yada yada in the movie. There's like, here's the stone. There's like the apparitions.
Oh, that's what was in the snitch this whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, that's very
Now-
like retcon.
I also got to think too, like, I feel like the time turner isn't talked about enough. Like the time turner,
They could have used it in a lot of different situations.
well, it just seems more powerful than an invisibility cloak.
or a stone.
Yeah. Well, resurrection stone, that's pretty powerful.
But it's not really resurrection. Like, they're not back.
yeah, Harry is killed, and then he's brought back to life because
it's
of the
from
stone.
the stone. That's right. I thought
Yeah.
I thought it was from like when he sees everyone before it happens. You know what I mean?
I see what you're saying.
I thought that was the
Like,
the power spent.
the vision
Yeah.
is this. No, I think they're just maybe channeling through the stone's power. I don't know.
Gotcha.
That was just a nice scene. They just you don't have to explain that one. You just gotta enjoy it.
We
I guess.
get the one appearance of Harry's mom and dad from every movie.
Oh yeah, they've just been dancing in that picture the whole time, and now we get to hear them talk.
And you know what? Harry's dad, especially in part 2, when he's like full like 70s with the sideburns and stuff, he looks like one of the characters from Time Splitters. It's like one of the 70s detectives. He looks just like that
Interesting.
character from Time Splitters.
Dang, dude, I'm gonna clip this out for the Instagram teaser.
If I learned something from part 2, it's that are we supposed to think and understand that James Potter is kind of a dick
Yeah,
that's
we
the
learn it from like the Snape
from
thing.
Snape? He's like, yeah, he didn't really care about Lily the entire time.
Even a little bit before that, when we see him like bullying Snape,
Yeah,
and that's
and bullying Lily.
which one is that? That's Half-Blood Prince. That's
Yeah.
when he's training him to resist the mind spell.
That's right.
I don't think we ever see him bully Lily. Like,
Yeah,
at least not in the film.
He
No.
runs past her and he like drops her books and stuff when they're
Yeah,
kids.
that
And-
happens in.
I mean, he's like
But as soon as they
bullying
get
her
like,
because he likes her.
yeah,
you know
as soon
what I
as
mean?
they get
But,
like a little bit big, he's like, "Hey,
yeah, but
Lily."
he
And
didn't.
Snape's like,
Snape's feel like he didn't have the same affection for her as like the same amount of affection that Snape did.
"That's how stalkers think."
Yeah.
yeah, Snape's on Reddit for sure.
We learned that, and then we also learned that Dumbledore probably cared for Harry Potter, but really he had to like
He was
let
in
him.
it for the greater good.
He had to use him for a utilitarian
Yeah.
purpose for 7 movies.
It's like, obviously I feel for you, but also like we need to do what we got to do to make sure we defeat
he
this
definitely
guy.
did the what is it? The end justifies the means.
Yeah, we
100%.
know that like Dumbledore could be convinced into like child soldiers are ethical, like,
Doing some stuff.
Like
yeah.
he could like you could somehow get him to that point. He'd be like,
Harry
"Well,
was kind of a
Yeah,
child soldier
right.
in this magical war.
Dumbledore knew that almost everyone had to die to
Yeah.
get Harry to this point, including himself.
including
And
Harry."
then I'm
And,
gonna
yeah,
need you
himself.
to die.
Yeah.
So once that revelation came out, I was like, that's kind of effed up.
Well, you know, you also got to think too that like Dumbledore, he knows the kind of person Harry is, but also Dumbledore knows he has the Resurrection Stone. So the whole time he's like, he at least has a chance. You know what I mean?
And it's not like he goes full Masato, you know what I mean? Like he's charged with this
Yeah.
great task. At least like he remains friendly with the kid.
That's true.
And yeah, that's what I was gonna say. He, in the same way though, Harry is who he is because of Dumbledore and how he's helped raise him. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So
I mean, it really took a village to raise that one, man.
Seriously.
Like, my God.
Yeah, back to I guess more of the movie of Deathly Hallows Part 2. I love how all the little minor characters throughout it were just getting nice little bows.
Ties
Make sure,
off.
Yeah.
make sure you go, oh,
It's like, oh, you know what? Seamus needs a quick little moment. There we go.
God, and what a
Yeah.
moment he
Yeah.
finally gets to. I just wish they had him like in a little like knit beanie and like a turtleneck, and he like drops in. He's the demo expert.
Yo, let's talk about who gets a real good
Glow up.
glow up and then just like a use in the story and I
Dang.
guess that end at the end.
Our boy Neville.
Long
Bam.
bottom.
MVP.
Dude.
MVP.
Dude is a G, a
Yeah.
straight up G. He stands up to Voldemort in front of everyone and he's just like, I don't even know if this is going to happen, but it's going to happen.
Can I say there is a choice made in this story that I'm not totally behind. And it's that Malfoy goes with Voldemort at the last second.
Well,
Like-
he doesn't like go with Voldemort. He goes
goes
with his
with
Goes for his
parents.
mom.
Yeah.
He goes for his mom specifically.
But
Yeah.
there's clearly a line, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it would have been cool to see Malfoy be like,
Stand
you know
up.
what? No.
Finally.
No, he has no
I'm not.
spine. He's just like his dad.
But
Yeah.
then we get the happy ending for Malfoy, and that's what I feel like is conflicting for me.
Oh, in the epilogue?
In the epilogue, when we
Yeah.
see them all adults, we see Malfoy there, and then Harry gives him like a little wave. He's like, hello. It's like, no, hang on.
You're supposed to hate each other.
At the end, dude, you still, like, you knew. You know what I
had
mean?
a chance to redeem yourself.
I saved you from that fiery room. This was your chance.
Oh, yeah.
This was your chance to at least have a little bit of backbone.
Yeah, because they do eventually abandon Voldemort, where they realize they're lost. You know what I
Well,
mean?
after
But
he's
it's out of
dead,
like
yeah.
their safety. You
And
know
if
what I mean?
anything, they need to go to prison or something. Like all three of them.
But you don't know that Malfoy's happy. He might be in a loveless marriage. His life might be hell.
Could be.
Maybe he's got like wicked hemorrhoids.
But I want to see like Malfoy being like the train conductor or something.
Yeah.
And he's like
The Biff.
drinking
Give him the
booze.
Biff treatment.
Yeah, give him booze. He's got to be in some job he would hate. You know, he's got to work in like clerical position.
he has
magic.
Ron's dad's job.
He's Ron's dad's job.
We see Goyle die in the room.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Arthur Weasley's his boss. That's
That'd
the
be
ending,
great.
dude. That's
That'd
the
be
ending.
real
That
good.
would actually would have been really nice.
Yeah.
We see Goyle die in the room of requirement.
He falls in the fire, right?
He's dead.
Yeah.
That boy
Which
died.
I mean, good. Yeah, I mean, he
cares?
started the whole
He
thing.
started
'cause
the
he's
fire.
an idiot. He couldn't get
he was
to
always
shut
burning since the world had been turning. He did start the fire. Did we see Crabbe died? When
No,
did
he
Crabbe
just
die?
he didn't even go into the room. They brought in some other lackey.
But when did Crabbe like in the series? Because I don't see Crabbe after a certain point.
I'm pretty sure it's because the crab actor gets arrested, doesn't he? And
In
don't
real
they, like-
life?
In real life, I'm pretty sure.
I'm gonna look that up.
I could be.
Nailed that casting. Turned out to actually be a thug.
Yeah, right. I could be wrong.
Man, watch, he did something horrible. We're just like lightly joking about it, but that's on par for us.
Yeah, true. That tracks.
Landed himself in some serious trouble off screen.
Uh-oh. Like,
That's
was it
it.
just like how trouble? Like Tim Allen trouble? Just like a bunch of cocaine?
I'll find out.
Yeah, because they do trade off the lackeys in the movie.
Yeah.
And it really makes me like I need to finish reading all the books now. I've started anyway. It's gonna take me like a year, but I want to know what happens in the book. Does he stay the whole time or
So
what?
this guy was arrested in 2009 for growing marijuana in his family home, and later on he even pleaded guilty for possessing cannabis and a knife. That's sad.
Wow,
Yeah, that sucks. That's unfortunate.
Wow, they did him wrong.
it's a bummer.
Yeah, poor Crabbe. You don't deserve it.
How big was the knife? See, if he was living in USA,
If he was in Texas, he could have been carrying a sword.
Openly.
Wow, but the knives in England, that's where it's at. All those guys watching Peaky Blinders and then
Lot of
stabbing each other.
A lot of knife crime in England, legit.
Yeah, it's because of Peaky Blinders. I'm pretty sure. I've never seen that show. I'm assuming there's a lot of knife violence in it.
They've been stabbing each other like longer than Peaky Blinders.
Than here.
has been out there.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure
They've been
Peaky
stabbing each other a long time.
I'm pretty sure Peaky Blinders is like where they started keeping history in England. Like England's mostly, they don't know what happened before early 1900s. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong.
I can't even, David. We'll just move along.
Indulge in that.
It's one of the oldest continents. So much history.
We just did the
We
Green
just
Knight.
did the Green Knight, one of the oldest Arturian legends.
Was that England though? I don't know. I don't remember.
So all in all, I mean, we did talk about the Deathly Hallows Part 2 a lot because it is monumental. It's a big part of this.
It's huge.
There's a lot.
It is, some would say, almost deserving of the number one slot.
Hey, that Battle of
some
Hogwarts
would,
was
but
real
maybe wrong.
cool.
They would
Battle
be outvoted.
Battle of Hogwarts was really cool.
Yeah.
I gotta say.
And you know what else too? It felt like more. It was more likely that anyone could die
Yeah.
than watching the Battle of Winterfell.
Dang.
Yeah.
Again with the Game of Thrones.
a little less plot armor for sure. It's
But-
like, oh,
Those two are almost the same exact setup. You know what I mean? We have the massive army coming up. We have the few things keeping them out, and then once they get in,
I mean, that's how any siege works.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But there's
Helm's Deep.
but especially the way that it's fought, you know, we get quick ways that it's shot, I should say. There's like little scenes of everyone battling individually. But you know what? I think you're right though. Helm's Deep and Winterfell are even closer. Because don't they do the Helm's Deep at the end of the Battle of Winter? No. Arya kills the Night King.
Yeah.
Wow, Game of Thrones spoilers. My bad, y'all.
Sorry. But, I mean, if you haven't heard that one
But
yet.
who cares?
Like, yeah, also, who cares? It doesn't end
Hey,
well
also
anyways.
spoiler, they're gonna shit the bed on the ending.
Yeah,
Yeah, you either watched Game of Thrones or you haven't seen it and you have no interest.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Ugh.
Well, let's get to the numbers here
Yeah.
for part 2, which were the same numbers for part 1. 250 million at the box office of $1.342 billion.
Jeez, that's a lot of
You
money.
gotta show up for the end.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
My God.
I remember everyone crying when I hadn't seen the movie either. They'd seen it and they were telling me, like, "Ugh," and I was like, okay, something happens.
There was a point where I forgot what scene it was. I wish I would have written it down. I took like no notes for these movies because I was just like
I love this
glued
movie. Yeah.
to the TV.
Yeah.
There were several points during like this movie I had like goosebumps, like all of my hair was standing up.
Definitely.
It was fantastic.
Was it when they killed Hedwig? Is that when it was?
That was
no,
so
that was sad for sure.
Hey,
but
you know what
are you
I'm
gonna
mad
do? It's
about?
not like it was a dog.
On this movie, I'm
Birds
mad
suck.
that Mad-Eyed Moody got an off-screen death. That sucks.
Yeah, that is a bummer. Well, I guess I'll update you when I finish, but I'm thinking that the books are going to give us more Moody. I hope so. It'd be a crime if they don't. Because really, the movies, he's kind of a thin character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we
Well,
barely get to
overweight
Except
but
for
thin character.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
We
Except
don't-
for when we figure out it's Polyjuice Potion. But-
Exactly. Like the most Moody we see is not Moody,
Yeah.
which is kind of a bummer. Yeah, I agree. Oh, and then man, the one that hits me more is that old Nymphadora and Lupin.
Remus. Yeah.
Yeah, Remus. They die.
And
That's so
off-screen
sad.
death, and you just see him dead. You're like, whoa, what?
Yeah.
Well, chill out, guys. They died for a good cause, and maybe one day their son will hear why they died, and he'll understand.
Yeah. It's gonna have to.
What great characters! I love.
There's
Remus.
this
love
whole series.
Sirius
There's
Black.
so many just phenomenal characters.
Yeah.
and their plot lines are fantastic. A lot of their introductions are fantastic.
Oh, and you get to meet Dumbledore's brother in this one too.
Oh,
who's
yeah,
played
yeah.
by Mance Raider.
Fumbledore. Fumbledore's his name. Yeah.
Albany, whatever his name is, Albiterus,
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Albatross.
Albatross Dumbledore, the reluctant.
It was
friend.
like the cool reveal of like, oh, that's who was in the mirror the whole time. I guess. Oh,
Yeah.
it wasn't
Ah,
Dumbledore. It was his
yeah.
brother. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Ah.
Sure. Okay.
So on to number 2, the Half-Blood Prince, or what?
The Half-Blood Prince.
Yes, indeed.
You know, this is when there is a director takeover, and I'm pretty sure it
David
actually
Yates, no?
starts. Yeah, David Yates. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed it. Actually, it was
He's
with
him for
Order
a
of the
while.
Phoenix.
Yeah.
David Yates finishes off the second half of Harry Potter, which is pretty cool because I think they keep the same thematic. And Half-Blood Prince is when we're like really getting super dark. Like we have Sirius dying at the end of Order of the Phoenix, which is so sad.
So sad.
But dude, the Dumbledore scene in this movie
Oh
is
my
like one
God.
of the saddest
I
scenes.
straight up teared up, man.
Yeah, I can almost not watch it. It's so sad.
I was sadder about the twin.
when he's drinking the water out of the
About
thing.
George? Oh,
Really?
bummer.
I'm like, there's 2 of them. They made 2 of them for
Oh
a
my
reason.
god, yeah, when he's getting the Horcrux.
Yeah, when he's getting
Oh
the
my
Horcrux and he's drinking
gosh.
the water, and he tells Harry like, I'm gonna ask you to stop, but you're gonna have to force me to drink all of it. And then it just gets like super sad.
And then you get to see the pain in Snape's face. Like, you know,
Oh, yeah.
he's not doing it because he wants to. Like, there's
Yes.
something in you that's telling you, like, okay, this can't be Snape just doing it to be a jerk. Like, there's torment. Like, he wouldn't have told Harry anything before he.
Well, it's like they give it away earlier in the movie because you walk in on the tail end of their conversation between like Snape and Dumbledore. He's like, "You asked too much. Like, doesn't it ever occur to you I don't want to do this anymore?" He's like, "Listen, like you're gonna have to do it." And you're
That's
like,
right.
"Oh, well, they're in cahoots. He's a double agent. He's gonna have to kill like Dumbledore."
He's always
I
a
even
double
said it when we were
agent.
done watching that movie. I was like, "Oh, so he's gonna have to kill Dumbledore in the end to
Darn.
like prove that he's."
Yeah. They
And then he
should
did.
have. They should have hid that a little bit better. I think it could have been a really.
Just cut
good
that
surprise.
first 10 seconds out of that scene out
That's
and just have Harry like
Yeah,
walking up to
That's
Dumbledore.
true.
Shock people.
I can
And
kind
then I
of.
would have been like,
What?
I can kind of say that I. Oh, well, that's in part 2. We already talked about it. I just want to breeze over this. I didn't like the end, the way that Snape dies.
Oh,
You know what I mean? It's kind of cheap, but also, I mean, I love what happens.
I love
as
Snape's
he's
death.
dying. Really?
I loved it.
I think it's a cool spell that he like slits his neck.
Yeah.
With the
Oh, yeah,
wand.
that
That's
is
an
cool.
He
interesting.
That
sits
is
his,
cool.
he gives him like a slow death too. He like has Nagini like chomping at him.
You know,
what I mean?
you're
That's
right. I
pretty
just didn't
rough.
like
And
it.
then like I had mentioned when we were watching the movie, like I thought it was really cool that like he had Lord Voldemort totally fooled.
Oh, yeah.
Like Lord Voldemort respected him so much that he didn't just show up and zap him in the back of the head. He was like, well, I owe you an explanation. Like you've been a really loyal servant, but
Yeah.
unfortunately for me to
I want
complete
that
my
wand.
mission, I have to kill you.
I need that one, buddy.
And he doesn't even get it. Man, how crazy.
What a chump.
That's hilarious.
So, I'm sorry, back to Half-Blood
Oh
Prince.
yeah, of course, of course.
It's awesome.
It's great. I love it. Half-Blood Prince. Starting off at the beginning, Harry finds the book that has, property of the Half-Blood Prince, and all the potion things are great. There's extra spells in there that he's never heard of. But I love the dynamic of Hermione getting outdone by Harry academically.
It's great.
It's one of the best things. I'm 100% there for it.
She's like super frustrated.
She hates it so much. And then this is like a very hormone-filled movie too.
Definitely.
Like they're all dating.
With that
and,
dude trying to get in on Hermione, and I can't remember. And he's like creepy, dude.
and that girl trying to get with Ron. Who's
Oh,
just
yeah.
like
Oh,
the,
yeah.
like,
Insane.
What's her name?
insane,
It's like
overbearing.
Petunia or something.
It's
It's
just-
just really weird.
And then she's got that like 80s hair thing going on with
Yeah.
like her scrunchie. She looks like when Robin is a pop star in the 80s in Canada in How I Met Your Mother. She just needed like the jean jacket.
Robin Sparkles. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right.
I don't know that, but
Oh, that's hilarious. You never seen How I Met Your Mother?
Trust me, I'm nailing that reference.
Yeah, he really is. He's locking it down right now. Talk
you're
about
right, though.
some-
There's a lot of shipping happening
Oh yeah,
in this one.
this is the shipping movie.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't this the first time we get Harry and Ginny too, or Ginny?
Ginny.
Or we at least start hinting.
When you're
towards
just
it.
like,
how do you feel when you see her with Ginny? See him with Ginny?
I'm not about Harry and Ginny, but that's just me.
I'm happy for Ron's mom the most because she's like super stoked to have
Oh,
like
totally.
Ron or like Harry in the family.
And I guess
officially.
that's why Rowling did it. I just don't see it. I see like zero.
Well, it's also funny
Chemistry with them.
doesn't this technically make Ron, Hermione, and Harry brothers and sisters?
they're
now?
all in-laws.
They're all in-laws. Yeah,
Yeah, that's cute.
super weird.
I love
That's
it.
why they
nice.
did it.
That's
You
why
know
they
what I
did
mean?
it, yeah.
That's the good kind of fan service, not the creepy kind of fan service.
I don't know. It's definitely. There's definitely some.
Or no, you know what? There was a part I think in Deathly Hallows part, or like when everybody finally gets. It's when Ron and Hermione finally get their kiss. Like out loud, I was like, this would be a lot hotter if we hadn't known them as children first.
Yeah, it's a little awkward.
A little strange, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a Arya Stark moment back to
Yes,
Battle of Winterfell.
Exactly.
Same episode. I'm
I
pretty
don't
sure.
want to see it.
But I didn't scream why because they didn't go full nude in Harry Potter.
Oh, imagine? No, that'd be horribly inappropriate.
It's like
Although
oh my
there
God,
are
what have we
scenes
done?
where Harry and Hermione are almost nude when that Horcrux necklace.
yeah, it wasn't
Yeah.
them. It was like
Projecting them.
CGI.
I mean, yeah,
smoke.
but it was them.
But that's part one, isn't it?
It is
Isn't that
part
Deathly
one.
Hallows part
it was
one?
their likeness.
Yes.
Yeah.
True. Speaking of likeness, CGI Snake 7.
Nice.
Yeah, Harry touches a ring and has a vision of a snake. That's it, guys. This isn't as exciting as I was hoping when I started this count, but I followed
you're
it through.
finishing it, and that's what's
Yeah,
important, David.
There's 11 CGI snakes in these movies. I'm gonna tell you about all of them. That's all I got for you guys.
Did you remember more snakes in the Harry Potter franchise? Let us know in the
No,
comments.
don't let us know. Listen to my instructions earlier. Keep it to yourself. All right.
Just let Danny and I know.
Okay, I can live with that.
Yeah.
Address your comments to Danny and Frank. I want to let you know there's an extra CGI snake.
Address your comments to the thirsty twosome.
Yes,
Exactly.
perfect. I'll know
And at
exactly.
the end of every comment, just say F David.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we know.
Yeah, I'll know to not read it. Perfect.
So what are the old numeros on this?
The numbers for the Half-Blood Prince, one of the most goth names a goth kid has ever given himself. 7.6 out of 10 on
Definitely.
IMDb, and 84% on Rotten Tomatoes. Made on a budget of $250 million.
Yikes. Dang.
We would approach that billion mark again, but come under short again at $934.5 million.
That's underwhelming.
The amount of money that they're making on these movies.
Oh yeah, but
I see nothing underwhelming
Yeah,
about
how's that underwhelming,
$934.5 million.
Compare it to the ratios of all of these other movies, as far as this is the one movie that's a standalone movie that's not part 1 and 2 that has a $250 million budget, which is the same budget as part 1 and part 2 of Deathly Hallows. But the return is much bigger on both of those. And the return on this is under $1 billion. That's crazy.
I mean, it's still like 3 times as much.
It's a lot.
At least.
But all these
money.
movies
It's
get
more.
a solid at least 4 to 5 times.
Interesting. Okay.
Return.
I can see what you're saying though. Like percentage wise, doesn't work out quite.
Right.
As big
The
as
ratio
others.
is smaller on
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. I see what you're
in
saying.
comparison.
And maybe it's because they shot a little more. They shot a couple scenes like on location, I guess.
Oh.
There's a few
Yeah.
things in this movie, like going into London, I think, for the coffee
it's
waitress
true.
at the beginning.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
so
wow.
cool.
I forgot all about the waitress.
I loved the
It's a
whole
great scene.
integration into the Muggle world, how like magic is, and on the bridge in where the Death Eaters are attacking the bridge. That's in Half-Blood Prince, right?
That's part 1. That's
Is that
Deathly
part
Hallows
one?
part 1.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
You also have the actual place that Dumbledore and Harry go to get the Horcrux at the end, which is that cool Force Awakening looking place.
Oh yeah,
With the water crashing up on the side of the mountain. There's some
part's
cool.
so dope.
There's some really cool stuff there. So, but anyway, I guess we're here at our definitive number 1, the number 1 Harry Potter movie that we all have come to agree on and respect.
Democracy. Well, no, I can accept it. I don't have to respect it.
Perfect.
And you don't have to call the competition fake.
I'll go. I'll go hang out by a tree and like just look all sad like tiny Snape.
Yeah, little Snape. Oh,
The Azkaban.
Interesting way to do that.
what a weird choice, man! I love it. I love it. Yeah,
Yeah, I was also a fan.
Prisoner of Azkaban. Cool.
The best.
By the director Alfonso Cuarón.
No way.
Yeah, this is Alfonso Cuarón, which is, I don't know.
Makes a lot of sense.
This is number 1 for me because of the visual
Yes.
choices in this movie, particularly like the editing. I love how the camera is following Hogwarts through these scenes. When they start a scene, they don't just like, cut to them in the hallway or cut to them in the Forbidden Forest. It's like the camera is like zooming in over through the hallways, like showing you,
It's like an owl's eye view.
yes, and you really get an idea of like Hogwarts size and scope, and you get little shots at all the different things coming around, like little creatures in the background, and just what makes Hogwarts tick. I love this movie. That's a big reason.
This movie's awesome, dude.
Yeah, and none of the other Harry Potter movies do that.
And this is the darkest. This is one of the darkest ones. Just
guess
in
that's true.
terms of, it's almost horror movie-esque in this one.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of the like creature feature
Yeah,
feel to it because of the werewolf and the
Dementors.
the Dementors, and even Sirius Black being what's the magical word for it?
A murderer.
He's like part dog, like he's got his thing. You know
shoot,
what
I can't remember the name of
David,
man.
I think you mean
He's a,
An orc?
not,
No.
not a chimera, right?
no, that's like our word for it.
Yeah.
No.
Man, I can't remember the name of it. Well,
Who knows?
And this is the intro of Patronuses, right?
A polygamist?
Polygamist.
I'm looking it up right now. Currently.
Okay, yeah, Danny's on it.
Definitely should have had just the Harry Potter wiki open. That would have been a good idea.
Yeah, not a
I'll
bad
think
one.
of that the next time we rank the Harry Potter movies.
Yeah, and sorry, viewers, but we like the movies, but we're not like the nerdiest nerds ever.
Wow, it gives you
No.
their entire
Oh
family
man,
tree.
I forgot to put Half-Blood Prince up this whole time.
Oh my goodness.
Wow,
what are we
a
doing?
nerd.
Okay, you know what? To make up for it, while Danny's looking this up, I'm gonna put Half-Blood Prince and Prisoner of Azkaban next
There you
to each
go.
other.
There you go, David.
There we go.
That way they can get a good look at that book.
You know what Danny's saying, that this is one of the darker ones? I agree, but also I think that you can say that about almost every Harry Potter movie, that
Yeah,
when it comes
you're
out,
right.
it is the darkest one. Except maybe Deathly Hallows. But like the rest
Yeah,
of them,
Deathly Hallows. Deathly Hallows is the calm before the storm. We get to the
Yeah.
eye of the storm, and then everybody starts dying.
yeah.
Oh, continue. I still can't find it.
That was. I'm so sorry. That
It's
was the end of my thought. But
Animagus?
Animagus.
Animagus.
Wow.
There it is.
See, I just needed to like stoop on my brain a little bit. I was
Well,
gonna pull
it was some weird thing happened where Danny saw the word and then you felt it in like this tiny collective unconscious.
It's because we're twins and we share one soul.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
That's probably what it is.
Damn, you
What's
guys
his,
somehow got separated at birth.
That's his Marauders nickname, which they do go by in the books more so.
Yeah, they almost don't even explain it in the movie, and
They
I
don't.
remember it
It's in
being
the- it's a big thing in
explained
the
more.
books.
So it's definitely in the books, but
He's Padfoot.
he's Padfoot,
Lupus is Wormtail is Wormtail.
Wormtail, Prongs.
Which there's just a whole bunch of
James
questions
Potter,
that come
isn't it?
with the
James.
reveal of Wormtail.
So James Potter could turn into the deer then.
I guess that does get confusing. I guess he is an animagus or animagus. I don't remember.
Animaniac?
He is a stag. Yeah,
Huh?
didn't know that. And his mom could be a doe. She was also animagus.
Weird.
Kinky.
So Harry was close to getting it, and he didn't.
That would have been pretty cool. They
been
should
pretty
have
cool.
made that one of his powers.
Give him one more power.
Damn, that's too much, honestly.
Yeah.
Like for his stress levels, that's a whole nother thing to worry about.
Plus, turning into a deer, kind of lame. You're gonna get shot on accident.
Right?
Yeah, dude. You end up like Bambi's mom.
Yeah. Oof. That's pretty rough. That's pretty rough.
Or just like
Harry
cross
Potter's
the road,
mom.
get blinded by some headlights. So many ways.
Frozen.
Oh no, what do I do? What do I do?
Oh, let me stand still. Okay, so let's talk about this actual movie, man. I know this.
Oh
is,
yeah, I guess we could do that.
This is way off for Frank. Sorry about that, man.
Things happen, man.
It does.
So apparently, really quick, Remus Lupin is not an animagus. He's just a werewolf.
Oh, he's just a werewolf.
He's just a werewolf.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean, I got that.
that makes sense.
That's another thing.
It'd be funny if he was also an animagus, but it was like a porcupine or something. But then he was like stuck into being like forced into being a werewolf sometimes. It's like, oh, this poor guy.
What is his name?
Like sometimes he's a porcupine, but then like the full moon comes out,
Yeah.
and then that poor little porcupines are just like,
It turns into a werewolf. Yeah. And McGonagall, I guess, too, is one of the only
She's
ones
a
that
cat,
we have
right?
of the current, people who aren't dead.
Sorry, he's Moony.
Moony.
That's right.
That makes sense.
But yeah, McGonagall is also an animagus.
Yeah.
She turns into a cat.
The one who introduces the idea to the.
and you know what? It's got to be kind of exciting for those two characters, Sirius and God, I can't remember the other professor's name now. I'm so sorry.
Which one?
Lupin.
Lupin, thank
yeah.
you, Lupus, Professor Lupin. As friends, like they had the debate before, knowing like Lupin has this thing being a werewolf, and then this guy being an animagus. Like, I would beat you in a dogfight, and then they like finally got to find out. You know what I mean?
That's true. And he was, definitely werewolf's going to win.
Yeah,
How
obviously.
Do you think it was for Snape to have one of his bullies from school hired as one of his colleagues at work at the same school?
Dang.
Must have been pretty awkward. Dang. Right.
Yeah, that's sad.
It's like, man, that dude used to laugh at me when James was making me levitate against my will.
Taking my
Using
pants
magic
off
on me. Yeah.
magically.
James is a jerk.
Dude, James sucks.
Yeah.
James Potter. All
Do
my
not
homies
like
say
James
James
Potter.
Potter.
Yeah.
He's the worst.
I don't like James Potter, just for the record.
Yeah. What are you
I'm
going to do?
glad he's dead.
So, Danny, what is it that you like about Prisoner of Azkaban? Because me and you, we led this coup to give it its rightful space at the top of the list.
I love the cinematography. I love the overall visuals of Azkaban itself and the Dementors. The Dementors train scene is rad.
That's right. They're also the worst part about prison.
Right. Yeah, they make you not want to go to Azkaban, even if you weren't a wizard, to just get your soul sucked out constantly every day. Sounds awful.
That does sound pretty rough. Like, prison is so bad in Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Compared to, like,
At regular prison,
Prison's pretty bad.
well,
I mean, yeah,
Depending on the prison that you're in.
sure.
but they're
But
only
there's, like,
metaphorically sucking your soul out every day.
in Muggle prison, there is like white collar prison and blue collar prison.
Yeah.
In Wizarding World, if you even go for like tax evasion, maybe
Yeah,
you're probably
right?
going to Azkaban.
Yeah, is there another prison? That's what I need to know.
I think that's the only the only Wizarding prison. If I
There's
remember,
got to be other.
They just go
prisons.
full tilts.
Oh, right there. The second thing I put is Azkaban the only Wizarding prison?
Yes.
Azkaban is currently the only Wizarding prison in Britain. A purpose-built prison located on some remote Hebridean island, I don't know what that is, was preferred and plans had been drawn up when Damocles' role
Okay, so
became-
Damn, so in American Wizarding World, they probably have like 600 prisons, and it's still like a for-profit.
and they
based
profit
system.
for every one of them.
even the wizards.
Why was Azkaban so bad? That's another question.
Yeah. Do they have like one that's a little bit less intense? That'd be cool.
And
They
even
found
worse,
the location, and they're like, "This is pretty creepy. We're gonna have to like really hit it hard."
and it's even worse because like the Dementors are maintained and commissioned by the Ministry of Magic, so they're like they're at the whim of the government, and they're like purposely sucking the soul out of all these.
Oh,
visitors.
yeah.
They're state sanctioned.
You can feel the pre-Brexit vibes in some of this story for sure. Let's see.
Oh, I forgot. There is one more.
What?
There's Nurmengard, which is where Voldemort questioned Grindelwald in Harry Potter Deathly Hallows 1
yeah.
about the Elder Wand.
That's right.
But
Okay.
still not a huge selection. And they both seem equally pretty bad.
Prisoner of Azkaban, we get new Dumbledore. It's Michael
That's
Gambon
right.
after the first Dumbledore passes away. So he gets here just in time to be kind of angry. You know, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire? Which is, I guess, you missed that earlier. But yeah, I love how legitimately creepy this movie is. Like when there's creepy stuff, it is creepy. They do a really good job of that. There's the Monster Book of Monsters. Do you guys remember this at the beginning?
Rah 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 rah. Yeah, it's all chomping and
Yeah.
It reminds me a lot of like a Sam Raimi kind of thing, especially when it goes under the bed and then they're
Yeah.
not sure where it's at.
and
That's
it makes
that's
its
really
stupid
fun.
little sad monster noises.
Yeah. And you know what? If you put like a still of this movie next to a still of like Sorcerer's Stone or Chamber of Secrets, you can just immediately see how the color palette's just so much nicer in this movie. And it's
intense.
And it's before we get into kind of drabby and gray, which is the rest of the movies.
For sure.
So this one is like its own little. I wish they all kind of look like this. It'd be kind of cool. There's something very magical feeling about it. I don't know how else to describe it.
Is Prisoner of Azkaban the one where we get the like? It's almost like a seasonal title card when the change of the seasons
Yeah.
with the Whomping Willow.
Yeah, we get
That
the
is
Whomping
nice.
Willow. And see, transitions like that aren't in any other Harry Potter movie. But Alfonso Cuarón's little
He's an
Artur-
artiste.
Yeah, he's in there. And yeah, man, he's just adding the little tiny touches, but they're memorable and they help you know what's coming up next,
You
man.
get the intro to Buckbeak.
Buckbeak.
Oh,
Buckbeak's
sorry,
this one?
the way you're conveying your emotion with,
With
the
your
hands
wand.
with the wand attached. I've been doing a good job, but that one really got me. That really slight one there, it really hit me.
It's an extension of my hand.
Switch and a
Anyways,
flick.
The Marauders Map is introduced.
That's true.
in
And,
this one.
and even that is kind of spooky.
Spooky in a way that, like,
The
should
implications.
I give teenage
Yeah.
boys this ability?
To
This is
watch everyone, essentially.
pretty creepy. Also, there's that hidden thing in the credits. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this.
Yeah.
It's like presumed that there's some students or teachers. I don't know how you want to think about
Oh,
it. There's
I have seen that.
a suggested sex
There's a
scene.
pair of feet real close
Real
to each
close
other. and
together.
an interesting
kind
formation.
of shuffling in a way. It's a famous thing. It's like towards the end of the credits in Prisoner of Azkaban, which I think is just hilarious. What a funny, and I'm sure that's what they're joking about. It's just like that team of CGI editors was like, "Hey, let's pull a Disney and add something in here."
Oh, yeah, I see it.
Yeah, right.
They are interlocked.
It's like something's happening here, man. Something ain't right. Something ain't right here. What is this? Oh yeah, this is the first movie with setup. Really, like we did get a little bit in Chamber of Secrets. Most of it's like retcon though.
Sure.
Where in this one, it's like let's introduce Sirius, let's introduce Remus, and these people are going to keep coming back. We're gonna keep adding stuff.
Wormtail, everything.
Lupin's like the most interesting dark arts teacher we've had so far. Quirrell's like whatever, and then Gilderoy is also like meh. You know what I mean? He's just annoying.
Even the Marauders Map is a character in itself that will help them in
Oh yeah,
infinitely in the rest of the films.
and then of course we get the ending with the time turner.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And then they go, "Let's do the time warp again," which Really? Hermione's using this? She's such a goody two-shoes. Like, you're using it so you can go to twice as many classes?
It's like turning that full mester into a mini mester, but not the lazy way of doing it.
No,
like,
yeah,
Adding
but
more
just,
work.
like, yeah, just add more work. That's how you get it done faster.
And presumably Hermione is what? Awake for twice as long as she should be?
Yeah.
Every day?
Yeah.
That's a terrible idea.
yeah.
Maybe not twice as long, but
She's young. She'll bounce back. It'll be all right.
a considerable amount more.
Funniest thing in Prisoner of Azkaban, well, like silliest, when they save what's his face, that like weird creature from being beheaded, and then Buckbeak,
The hippogriff.
When they save the hippogriff, and the like the guy who's supposed to chop it off is just like out of anger smashes that pumpkin. She's like, oh well, I'm gonna chop something in half, damn it.
Yeah, that guy's very
That way we
upset.
have the red herring from previously of him bringing the hammer down, if you will.
Yeah, nice little time travel setup.
Interesting.
It's like you can't interact or things will explode.
Yeah.
Apparently, there was some reason for ban or challenge for the Prisoner of Azkaban because it was mentioned in previous Harry Potter posts before as the series being challenged for its dark and glorification of witchcraft. This might be one of the first starts of things getting darker and parents getting a little more scared about their kids reading this. This was 2004.
You know, if anything, I feel like Chamber's Secrets
It's pretty intense.
pretty intense, and this is like a murderer who's being controlled by magic, like, or not a murderer, but well, you think it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I remember the hubbub in the 90s about, you know, people speaking out against Harry Potter and like we should ban it and everything. It's
It
like,
teaches witchcraft.
We're always like in or in between satanic panics. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
it always comes back around. What was the latest one? Old Town Road, when he did the music video with Satan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like come on, guys.
Lil Nas X.
Lil Nas X is doing this so you will make this commentary. Just
Yeah,
relax.
He's nailing it right now.
Yeah, he's
He's
defeating.
actually succeeding in his goal.
Yeah, he's defeating you is what he's doing. But anyway, yeah, man. I mean, this is just, I think, a well-crafted movie. I think, interestingly, the only Harry Potter movie without Voldemort in any shape or form. No Voldemort in this one, and I don't know. I just love I love the ending. I love the time turner. I love Sirius
Black,
confronting.
man. Yeah.
He's confronting Wormtail. Mwah.
It's
Chef's
the
kiss.
Love it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. That's like we've said many times. The majority of these movies, I can honestly say, loved them.
Right.
I can't wait to get into it again. Can't wait to decide what Harry Potter tattoo I'm getting. Can't wait to retake the Sorting Hat quiz.
Oh, we were supposed to do it pre-show.
Yeah,
shoot.
well, you know, we forgot.
We'll
I've
catch
always
up
been a
next time.
Gryffindor.
Me too. Hopefully it stayed the
I mean,
same.
I've always been
You're
a
a
Hufflepuff.
Yeah, you're
and
definitely
I was
Hufflepuff.
telling these guys. I think I was talking to them last night. Yeah, online on PSN. I was like, guys, I'm honestly kind of nervous to take this again. If I'm not Hufflepuff, I'm going to be a little upset.
We'll find out. We'll all retake it.
What was
right
it
now.
that
And
Harry?
I guess we'll let you know on Instagram. That's how we can do that.
What is
Go
it
check
that
out the
Harry
Instagram
told?
and find out.
What did Harry tell Albus at the epilogue of Hallows Part 2? He's like, well, "What if I don't come out Gryffindor?" And he's like, "It's always just a choice, anyways."
Yeah, it always just lets you choose. Which is what I told Frank, and then Frank was like, "I don't think the website works that way."
Yeah, I was like, no, this one's like based on an algorithm. There's like multiple choice questions. It's going to be very different.
Oh man, wow, what a journey Harry Potter was.
Pottermore.
Yeah, although Pottermore's, I don't think, around in the same facet that it was before.
Oh man.
Like if you go to it, it still links you somewhere, but it's not the website that it was like 10 years ago. or
Oh
whatever.
geez.
It's a little sad.
Unlike the official Space Jam website, which is
Yeah.
exactly how it was in the 90s.
Still rocking it. Still
I'm actually
rocking.
gonna check that out.
I wonder if Space Jam got
Oh,
because of the new
oh
one.
my God. Did they ruin it?
Yes, they did.
Ah,
It is spacejam.com. Is Space Jam a new legacy?
What?
get out of here.
They
The end of an
killed it?
era.
Oh wait, no, you can still go to the 1996
Click on
site.
it. Is it the same?
You're about to leave the new legacy site, and everyone's like, "Yeah."
Of course. I'm not here
Yeah,
for new
obviously.
legacy.
Why'd you bring me here?
See, I have to choose go back or continue.
Yay!
there it is.
All right.
Spacejam.com/1996.
That's nice.
Spacejam.com.
The one true Space Jam.
Wow, this is awesome.
Well,
Okay.
what a wild ride, folks.
Yeah, what a wild ride.
Let us know what your ranking is. Obviously, it's wrong. It's wrong because it's not the official one, but
Yep.
man, let us know. We are going to forego Oh That's Interesting again this week because, boy, we've been pumping out the content for you guys. My goodness, we got 2 character limit extended coming for you this week. So, I mean, let's get into it. Which one did we do first? My brain is mushy. Suicide Squad
came out first.
Yes.
Yeah, let's talk about it. What did you guys think?
Hemming Daddy was yourself, correct?
I was.
We had the same reviews on both of these.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So Danny,
That's why
Okay, I'll start it off both
us
times.
off.
I think I'm unlike you guys in that I did see the original, correct?
You are correct.
Never
Right?
seen it.
So
Never
you
seen
both have not seen the original.
I have no intention
Never will.
to.
That's good. I guess I have the most insight on this movie. It was definitely an improvement. I mean, definitely an improvement. It's a darker Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yep.
The soundtrack's not as memorable, but you could definitely see the formula of the Guardians of the Galaxy was given the DC dark skin. It's not as dark though, but I mean, James Gunn's a great filmmaker. You know, you don't have to cancel him. It was totally enjoyable. A little bit long, but the ending sequence is great, and you get some really good characters in here. You get some really good portrayals. Polka Dot Man's awesome. I mean, even Sylvester Stallone, like Nanawe is great. Harley Quinn again, killing it.
That might be the best acting job Sylvester Stallone's ever done.
Nah, man, I love Rambo. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah, I love Rambo too.
Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone's a terrible actor.
Yeah, it's best when he shuts up and just shoots things.
Doesn't he have a couple? He has a couple good scenes in Rocky, doesn't he? I haven't seen Rocky since I was a kid.
yeah.
I think he's got a couple, maybe, but I might agree with you. I don't know.
It's probably just good direction.
Yeah.
He is a good director, I think. Yeah.
What about you, Frank? You were chirp.
I had a great time, man. It was a blast. Full of laughs. I enjoyed myself. No, about the amount that I expected to, honestly. Like, I feel like I got exactly out of that movie what I wanted to. I didn't expect anything like mind-blowing sci-fi. I didn't expect some like grand story. We just got a super fun James Gunn movie.
Yeah.
That happened to be like DC character based.
It seems funny that DC, David Ayer says that his movie got chopped up. You know what I mean? And ironically, it got chopped up because of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Huh.
Like, you remember Guardians of the Galaxy came out? The
Just smashed
soundtrack was
everything.
super bumping. Everyone was so excited about it, while DC was like releasing like super sad Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. Like, everyone's crying in the movie. And then they were like, oh, Suicide Squad, which looked to be a more serious movie. They were like, no, let's add in a scene where Bohemian Rhapsody's playing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So ironically, James Gunn set up his own opportunity to come step in.
David Ayer is going to end up with this huge chip on his shoulder for James Gunn. He's going to like hate him, despise him.
He's got to be very angry because dude, DC
they
pooped
did screw
on his
his movie. Yeah.
And then it seems like did nothing at all to James Gunn's movie.
Yeah.
Apparently, DC had, or maybe even Warner Bros., I guess, like they had commissioned David Ayer as the director, and they knew that they were putting it into development before they even had a friggin' script. So, like, David Ayer had to make the screenplay in like 6 weeks or something like that. And then they came back and redid all the CGI and decided they wanted to put, all this stuff in, and they cut out all the. I don't even care about Jared Leto's Joker. No one cares. He cares. He wants everyone to care as much as he cared about being the Joker.
No, poor guy.
There's so many other like better opportunities to watch Jared Leto act.
Yeah.
Just watch him get his face punched in Fight Club. It's the best.
Watch him snort a bunch of cocaine and then die in Lord of War.
Oh, and then in
Requiem for a Dream.
and then in Psycho,
Damn,
American Psycho.
American Psycho. Yeah.
He's really good at that, actually. Now that I think about it.
Yeah.
I gotta see how many movies he like snorts cokes and dying.
Wow. Spoiler alerts though. Man, we're really spoiling a lot of movies today. Although, I don't want to say anything else because Frank hasn't seen Requiem for a Dream, which puzzles me.
Yeah.
Oh, we still gotta get
Puzzles
that
me.
that rank out of the way.
Darren Aronofsky ranking, dude.
Heavy one.
That's like emotionally taxing.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough one.
I don't know if I can contain all my laughter.
He's got a new one coming up too.
I might not be able to.
Yeah, David gets a really special laughter
Out of Aronofsky movies?
Film. It's like
Evil.
it comes from like straight from the diaphragm, but there's also a lot of throat in it and a little bit of penis.
While I'm laughing, I can hear the Emperor or Lord Voldemort going, "Do it, do it." Depends which one you're in the mood for. What are we talking about? Suicide Squad. Yeah, so I mean, I enjoyed the movie a lot. I thought it was fun on a bun, you know? Again, I thought it was more or less what I was thinking.
Yeah.
It's just interesting to me that DC was trying to play catch up so hard.
Oh, yeah.
They were like, let's shove everything we can in these movies. And now they're finally kind of realizing, all right, let's just let them do whatever they want. And if anything...
Oh, what if we just make like good, interesting movies based on these characters?
And I'm wondering, man, maybe Marvel and DC are going to cross in this next, 10 years of superhero
Might
movies.
be a changing of the handing off of the torch, if you will.
Yeah, because I'm curious, like Marvel phase, is this phase 5? 4?
I stopped caring.
Whatever phase it is.
To be honest.
But there's like a lot of movies in there that people like Shang-Chi, you know?
Yeah.
I remember seeing the poster outside the movie theater.
The Eternals.
I don't remember that poster.
I feel like I'll watch The Eternals.
Could be cool.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be cool. Who knows? But Suicide Squad was interesting, and it was interesting enough that, yeah, I'll go see Suicide Squad too.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah,
Super
I'm
funny.
I'm down to check it out.
He does a great job of setting up jokes and then paying them off.
Yeah.
Like, he really does. To circle back really quick, the next Aronofsky movie, The Whale, I think we've talked about it a bit.
Oh, that is interesting.
It's in post-production. And it's
with our boy.
with Brendan Fraser. But then also, it's an A24 movie.
Whoa, dude. This could
An
be
Aronofsky A24 movie?
with Brendan Fraser. Guys,
Oh my God.
dude, what's going to happen?
Woo! Can't wait.
Of course, just from the title, it makes me think Aronofsky's going biblical again with this.
It's an
It's an adaptation, right?
adaptation of
Noah and
Moby
the Whale?
Dick.
Okay.
of
Moby Dick.
Yeah.
Dang.
Whoa.
And the soundtrack is all Mastodon's Leviathan.
Dude.
Well,
Dude,
that would be if Nicolas Cage was in the movie, but...
I'm going to jam that album on the way home.
All right, well, should we shift gears?
Yeah, character
it's
limit.
time for character limit extended. Again. Extra extended. The extension.
Wow.
We also did just a huge undertaking of a movie and a concept of its own. Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.0, Thrice Upon a Time. That's
I'm
the
sorry.
best I've ever said it.
It's actually 3.0 plus 1.01 Thrice Upon a Time.
No, it's 1.0.
Isn't it? I thought it was 1.1.
It's 1.0. I'm pretty sure, man. I only say
and if
this,
I'm wrong, then you're wrong for
you're
not
right.
correcting me
Yeah.
on the CLE.
and if I'm
That's
wrong,
weird.
then I need to change all the video titles.
No. It's 1.0 some places and it's 1.01 other places because I saw it. Yeah, I see it right here.
What?
Don't trust those guys.
What?
Amazon Prime has 3.0 plus 1.01 Thrice Upon a Time.
Oh, you know what? They add an extra number for the home release. So like when 1.0 was released in theaters, it was like Evangelion 1.0 you cannot advance. And then I'm pretty sure the home release is Evangelion 1.11 you cannot advance.
Oh, they are 1.11.
And they're all like that. Except in the last one, apparently they do 1.01, which is...
Well, because why?
Dude.
Well, if you're ruining the format at that point, you might as well just do. It's like when we wrote our quest for like, you might as well go balls to the wall, clunky.
I guess, but oh my God.
So,
Danny.
Yeah, take it away.
dang.
Well said.
Yeah, we had to rewatch all three Ava movies before this came up. And I hadn't seen Ava 333 before this.
Same.
And that movie, I feel like that movie was kind of like getting it hit in the face with a basketball. You know what I mean? It's
You know what? That really hurts.
Yeah,
Like,
and-
that's really not a pleasant
and it's
experience.
confusing because you typically don't see it coming.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you're
your
just like-
eyes water because of the reaction of your nose.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's it.
Wow.
That's it.
Yeah, it's a pretty. That's really good, Danny.
I'm having sensory memory right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Because of that description.
You kind of have that ping that resonates
Yeah.
through your head. You know what I
Because
mean?
you hear the air inside the ball.
yeah. That was again with this movie for sure. But I got to experience it with friends at the same time. But I mean, dang, this movie just throws you around, and there's things you recognize, and there's linear parts of the movie, and then there's like abstract parts of the movie at the same time,
Yeah.
and then there's really abstract parts of the movie. And just like the end of the original series, there's a lot of that in here too. I honestly like it almost just as much as the original ending, but this goes a step further in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to unpack.
There's a lot of new things in this.
Yes, for sure. Wow.
I'm not even really sure what happened, to be honest. Like at the end,
Yeah, like if you could you tell us how the movie ends?
no.
Yeah, well, what's your interpretation of the ending
Yeah. I
mean,
as it stands right now?
If I remember correctly, like I'm pretty sure the impact happens.
Okay.
There is assimilation, and then I can't remember past that. To be
Wow.
honest, like.
So I'm next in this segment.
Okay. Let's
So
get it.
I'll give my initial reviews, and then I'll hit you with my interpretation of the ending here.
Okay.
Which I think is pretty much where Danny's at, just a little bit further. And then I wonder if David can take it all the way home. This will be interesting to see how this
Let's
goes.
find out.
It was great, man. It was super awesome. If you haven't watched the movie yet, and somehow you have the opportunity to watch it with Tony, I recommend doing it that way because he'll bring the hype.
I'm so excited that we got to because we have this friend Tony who loves Evangelion, and we were gonna watch it together. I was like, Tony, you got to get over here because we had talked months ago about watching it together when it came out. I'm so glad we got to experience Tony's first viewing.
Yeah.
Because this dude was so intense about it.
Jumping out of his chair.
Jumping out of his chair, yeah.
Screaming.
Yeah.
At points we were like, what happened? I don't get it.
Everyone else was confused, and Tony was going through revelations.
Yeah. If we looked too confused, Tony would have us pause it so he
Yeah.
could explain it to us so that we could remain looking confused and start playing the movie again.
Yeah, which was like
Quite true.
partially helpful for you guys, I think, maybe.
At some
But
point.
the thing is like, there's no hope in explaining Evangelion to somebody else.
No.
The only way to understand it is to just put in a lot of time.
You
Maybe
really
watch
gotta
it a
do the
couple more
footwork.
times.
exactly.
Yeah,
Maybe-
legit. I'm looking forward to starting again.
Yeah, watch it a couple times, and like one of my other reviews was watch several explained videos on YouTube about it, and probably watch those a couple times.
Yeah, I mean, you get everything you want. You get some giant robot fights, although you're like, wait, is this
Not as
robot or
many.
Is this,
Yeah.
what's going on here? Super dope. Stakes are super high because they we've paused the end of the world how many times now? How long can we keep it paused? And then we don't.
Yeah.
But it is really beautiful. Super spoiler alert. Like the way I saw the ending was like, yeah, the impact happens. Shinji finally realizes, thank God, that it's it's all up to him. Like he is the thing that's pushing this thing along. This time loop that has been going on for an eternity. He finally closes the loop on it. And then you get to see like his mom, who is kind of like this universe's Eve, with like what's his name, who is like the Atom. They end up
Gendo?
together. Is that his name? Kendo?
Gendo, his dad? Yeah.
Gendo,
No,
yeah.
not Gendo. The blonde-haired boy,
Oh,
white
you're talking about
kid.
Kaoru and Ray.
Kaoru and Ray.
Kaoru.
Well, I don't think it's Ray, but like it's what's her face?
Yui. Well, Yui is Ray.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Yeah.
it's like Yui.
Yes. I think it's supposed to be adult Ray. It's confusing. Because there's like some clones involved, and it's never expressly
But Ray is a
said.
clone
Of
based
Yui.
off of Yui.
Based off
Yes.
Yui. She's
So
one of the multiple.
So that's why I interpret it as like Yui.
But I mean, like at the end of the movie, we see an adult Asuka, which I know Danny was all about, and
But I even think like all these players, like maybe not Asuka, but like Shinji,
Yeah.
Yui, Gendo, and why can't I remember
Kaoru.
Kaoru's
Kaoru.
name? Kaoru. Why his name just won't stick in my head?
It's
for
a
some
weird
reason.
name.
That's probably what it is. But they are the players who push this time cycle along. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now they finally close the loop. They'll just live this one out, I guess, or it'll just go on for eternity. We won't crush the world with angels anymore.
Yes. So would you mind hitting my headphone adapter a little bit? I just lost it a bit in one ear. And if I'm going to have to...
How's that, David?
It's still not there. I don't know what happened.
Oh, so it's the main adapter.
There it is. Oh, my
Hey,
goodness. Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, so... Look, could I be wrong about some of the things I'm about to say? Yes.
For sure.
Do I want to be corrected? No. Again, I'm going to take the same stance as earlier. Usually I'm like, let me know what you think in the comments. This episode, I'm feeling angry. I'm feeling angry, Frank.
Well, if David's wrong, you can go ahead and address those comments to the thirsty twosome again.
I don't even want to see it. Take it somewhere else. Put on someone else's video. No, okay, that's a little too much.
Write Danny an email at his personal email.
Danny's personal email. Danny2hands@hotmail.com.
Danny2hands at AOL.com.
Yes. Email that.
Okay, seriously though, I would like to know what people think about the end of this movie, because if anything, this is a movie that I don't think is black and white. So
No.
A lot of colors.
Here's my interpretation of the ending. And in order to do that, we got to back up a little bit to End of Evangelion, the original ending of the series, where Shinji gets the decision on whether or not he wants to remain in a physical form. And the idea of this time loop is introduced because of the journey that Shinji's having through his mind. We have this like scene of a kind of slice of life anime where Shinji's like happy and like just in a school and blah, blah, blah. It's like normal life, which actually turns into there's like a spin-off comic of Evangelion with no Evangelions. And it's just like them going to high school. And there's all these different...
It's like Archie's and Friends, but in the universe of Evangelion.
Yes, exactly. And there's all these spin-offs of Evangelion, different video games that have parallel timelines, and there's been all these people who are saying like these are basically after the third impact in the end of Evangelion, we have all these branches that start happening and all these parallel universes are opening up, and the rebuilds being one of those parallel universes. Well, in 4.44, because that's what I'm going to call it.
I'm sorry, what?
Thrice upon a time, we get what I think is a pretty clear message when Shinji is talking to Rei and they're showing clips of the 90s anime that like, here are time loops that have existed, and now you have the choice on what to do with the loop. And I think the previous issue was Shinji trying to making the decision in previous loops to like, okay, we're going to try it again and we're going to get it right this time. Where in reality, the real choice is we have to let go of the Evangelions. And it is a little bit of the director of the movie telling a crazed fan base, like, guys,
I'm done.
You're 30 years old. Like, move on. All right, guys, stop drawing Asuka and Rei in compromising positions. It's super creepy.
Because I'm done. Yeah, I'm done with this.
Which is ironic because this movie in particular is really pervy, and I think it was like a year or two ago that he went out and said like, I really don't like people making these depictions of my characters. It's very disrespectful.
Only I can do it.
Yes, it's weird. It's like a control thing.
It's yes,
those
it is
are
a control
my
thing.
ladies.
Yeah, this guy. Anime culture's weird. We can leave it there.
This one had an uncomfortable amount of nudity.
So I am, I don't consider myself a modern anime fan only because I just am stuck in my ways and I'm just watching old animes.
Because they're great.
But even at a time when I was younger, there were some times where I'd be watching an anime and I'd decide like, I can't watch this. It's too pervy. It's too fan servicey.
Tenchi Muyo?
It's what Tenchi actually.
But it works out.
I can watch,
but
Tenchi.
not the later generations of it.
I remember watching Tenchi in Tokyo and having a good time. I don't remember like GX or something.
GT, I think it was.
So, GXP. Tenchi GXP.
Let me see, actually.
Galaxy Police or something. I didn't watch that one. But a perfect example is High School of the Dead. High School of the Dead. There was an anime. It was literally about zombies attacking a Japanese high school and how these kids were going to deal with it, which sounds so up my alley. But guys, I mean, if you've seen it, it's like, whoa, this is way too over the top. Like things are just, I don't want to, I can't even describe it. I'm not going to put words to it. It's uncomfortable is all it is. That's all we have to leave it at. It's uncomfortable. And this movie got a little too close to it for me. I wish they would have backed it. Now, some people were saying like, oh, well, the reason Asuka was naked the whole time was because she's like actually a clone. And this is like a version of her that is childlike, which is even creepier. But it's like, no, she doesn't really understand, blah, blah. No. That's all nonsense. Like,
she's naked.
It's just super pervy. Yeah. And like these guys.
She's wearing a bomber jacket. She's naked.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But anyway. Shinji and Hideaki Anno is like, we have to let go of Eva. So one last time, the loop has been looped again, but now in a universe. Are you
talking about Thrice Upon a Time?
Dang. Well, the Thrice Upon a Time might have to deal with like talking like original, second, and this is the third one. Although there is this 70s sci-fi book called Thrice Upon a Time.
Interesting.
And I actually, I have a little description of it from Wikipedia, which I thought was interesting. And this is exactly the kind of weird thing that Hideaki Anno loves to do. He likes finding some obscure reference and like, he's like a Tarantino kind of vibe. Thrice Upon a Time considers the ramifications of sending messages into the past and or receiving messages from the future rather than sending of physical objects through time.
So it's Contact.
Yes, essentially. So anyway, the end of this movie is Shinji setting up a universe with no Evangelion and finally being happy. But it's the interesting thing is it's an Evangelion. It's a happy ending to Evangelion.
Interesting, yep. Which
I don't think a lot of people saw coming.
No, I definitely didn't.
Halfway through in that movie, I was like, guys, we are not going to see a happy ending here. Like things are getting real bad. But we turn it around, and you know what? We get closure for Gendo, which is insane.
True.
Like there's so much about the characters. We get closure for Asuka. Like even Rey gets great scenes. It's just like a great send off, man. This is a great movie, a great one.
But we don't know what happened to Pen Pen. That's the only regret I have.
We see Pen Pen reunited with other penguins. That was more than we've ever gotten.
Those are penguins. You can't say for sure any of them were Pen Pen.
Yeah, one of them is Pen Pen. I watched it. I've watched the movie 2.5 times now. I didn't make it all the way through my third time. I am almost Thrice Upon a Time. I'm currently on my Thrice Upon a Time.
Good job, David. You just won the podcast.
Thank you. But excellent. I would say go watch it, but then I'd have to say no, watch the rebuilds first. But then I'd have to say no, watch the original series and End of Evangelion first.
So it sounds like you have a lot of watching to do, fans.
Do the whole thing, y'all. Do all of it. You'll never regret it.
It was amazing.
Unless you're uncomfortable with anime nudity, then you might want to try something.
You know what?
Lighter.
As somebody who's like not an anime fan and definitely uncomfortable with anime nudity, I don't understand the sexualization of cartoon characters one bit. One bit, I tell you. It's worth it. What a story.
Yeah.
Visuals, concepts, crazy. Fantastic.
One more chef's kiss. Okay.
That's going to take us to the final segment, y'all. And it's Peeps and Predicts, a hypothetical debate segment where we pick two peeps or peoples, if you will, characters, be they real or fictional. We're going to pit them against each other in some predicaments or predicts, if you will. And we're going to see who comes out on top. And then they'll go on to face the reigning champ, who is currently Bert Gummer
of the Tremors series, played by Michael Gross.
It's interesting the way this works out, you know? Some peeps sitting there for a long time.
I got one.
Some peeps come out right as we put them in. We've got Eamon Goth, who is the head Nazi from Schindler's List.
There it is.
Versus Lord Voldemort, who's the head Nazi in the Harry Potter series.
You were trying to avoid this episode.
I mean, I was trying to avoid it, but it was originally my suggestion. I thought it was funny.
It's a Rafe Fiennes Peeps and Predicts, y'all.
Yeah, it's a Rafe Fiennes. Horrible. Okay, let's talk about Schindler's List. Speaking of which, Danny had a revelation that Schindler's List and the Harry Potter theme are like mirror images of each other.
Melodically.
Yeah. Like,
Harmonically, too.
we have like ba da 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 dee da da da, which is Schindler's List. We get that little leap in there is perfect fifth. And then in Harry Potter, it's ba da 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 da. It's almost the exact same thing. Yeah. Oh, there's a little more chromatic.
There's a hat. Yeah.
Da, 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 bum, bum, ba-dum, bum.
Bum, bum.
John Williams, come on, man. You can't just be turning the sheet music upside down.
Copying your own homework and turning it in.
You can get away with it when you're John Williams.
He was like stumped, but he was like in front of a mirror and he was like, oh, wait.
Guys, we're starting this off right. And first off, I hope we don't get too offensive. Sorry. But you know what? Holocaust jokes are not anything new.
Yeah.
Not anything new.
People love bringing back
terrible.
images of the Holocaust when they shouldn't be compared anyway. So,
Do you guys remember Hipster Hitler? Do you guys remember that webcomic from like 2010, 2011?
I don't remember Hipster
No, I don't
Hitler.
And Broseph Stalin? No?
I think I remember Broseph Stalin.
I've definitely called my friends Broseph Stalin before,
And-
but I've never seen the comic.
Wait, what's the leader of Italy? I was going to say Giuliani.
Mussolini?
Mussolini is like a Jersey Shore-esque character. Okay, I'm going to look up this
Hilarious.
comic and send this to you guys.
This
Anyway,
sounds offensive.
it is super offensive. It is so like early 2000s or like mid 2000s when no one cared. Okay. Who is more likely to have a platypus for a Patronus?
That's me. I'm so glad this one got picked.
Eamon Goth.
Is it Gert? I don't remember.
It's Goeth.
I think it's like Gertie though, isn't
Garrett.
Goth.
it? Who cares? Anyway.
I went Goth because it sounds like Gozer, and I really want to watch all of the original Ghostbusters.
I hate voting for the Nazi from Schindler's List, but obviously Voldemort's would be a snake.
Yeah,
There's so much snake imagery that it's not going to be platypus.
it's gonna be a snake.
So if anyone even has a chance, it's old Eamon.
And the platypus isn't totally
Leopold Goot.
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 Armin Leopold Goot.
Armin Goot.
Leopold Goot.
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 All right, well, let's have a goot time and
Jeez.
continue with this piece of predicts.
So we're not going to have a KFC Taco Bell fiasco. I think this is pretty easy, right?
This one
in
is
the
pretty
bag.
easy.
Pretty,
And it
yeah.
kind of fits because, like, the platypus is cute, looks silly, but it's also venomous.
Venomous.
Well, you know, which is kind of interesting because in that movie, there is a few scenes where
He, like, lays an egg. And he's got, like, a duck bill.
Yeah, you're right. No, where they tried to portray him as like a nice guy. There's even a scene where what is it? His
Not the scene where he's, like, post-coitus and he shoots the random
No.
worker.
No, definitely not.
Love
But when Schindler like kind of tricks him, he like Jedi mind tricks him. Liam Neeson dude goes like, credits will do fine. But what does he say? He's like, fear is one thing, but respect or something like that. And he's like, I pardon you. There's actually like a little bit of humor in that movie, which always cracks me up. In Schindler's List, old Steven Spielberg. What are you gonna do with that guy? What a great movie!
Amazing
You know what?
movie.
Martin Scorsese was gonna do it.
That would have been cool too.
That would have been totally
and
different.
he like called Steven Spielberg and was like, "This is a movie that needs to be done by a Jewish person. Like it needs
Definitely.
to have the voice of that people."
That's a good call.
I was like, "Dang, Scorsese."
If only you
What a
treated
boss.
women
I hope
with
he
such
ribbed
respect.
I hoped he ribbed him at the end of that and was like, so do you know anybody good?
Oh well, you know it's
I was
actually
thinking Mel Brooks maybe, but
another similar fun fact about Schindler's List. But when they're creating the movie, he calls in John Williams to do the score, and then John Williams watches the movie and says, "Like I don't deserve this role. Like you need someone better. You need a better composer." And Steven Spielberg's like, "Yeah, but they're all dead."
oh man,
Oh man. Anyway, wow. Give us another predict, Danny, before we turn this into a Schindler's List podcast.
gotta love Schindler's List.
Well, yeah, I do. I love that movie, man.
checks
It's
it.
a great,
Fantastic
movie,
film.
man. Powerful movie.
He checks it twice. He definitely doesn't know who's naughty or nice.
Oh, sorry. I was having deja vu, but it's because I think I said that exact same fun fact in our World War II podcast episode,
I bet you did.
which was right before we became Uninformed Movie Reviews.
Ooh,
no,
wow.
it was right after, I think.
It was
one
the
of
World War II
first
movies, Movie
Uninformed
Quest,
movie
right?
reviews.
Shoot, I don't remember now.
Check in our catalog, everyone.
It might have been a David and Frank and Beans. It might have been one of the last
We did a podcast
episodes.
Wow.
Anyway, I'm sorry.
This next predict is who is more likely to have a bootleg movie business on the side? Probably Goot.
Yeah, probably
man,
Boots
I'm
again.
not comfortable with this, man. We're going to get
David, I know you have trepidations, but how satisfying is it going to be to see Burt Gummer kill this Nazi?
That's a good point. But what if he wins? What if it's like, who's more likely to kill Lily and James Potter or something?
Oh man,
Okay.
I don't think Voldemort. I gotta be honest.
No, in this case, it doesn't
know.
seem like Voldemort, man. He didn't have time for that, dude.
Nah.
It's got to be.
You think he watches movies? No.
Dude, there's no way.
Of course.
And he doesn't
No.
he doesn't care about profits. He only cares about power and
Yeah.
being eternal.
Money is not a thing to him.
But I got the argument.
Okay.
Hit us with that argument, Daddy.
Guys, we're talking about a bootleg movie company. There was no home video in 1940.
There was film though.
But there was no bootlegging because there was no way to watch it
But wouldn't
at your house.
Wouldn't technically video of any type would be Muggle creation? Because I have never seen a wizard or a witch watch a film.
I don't know. Well, we just got to wait for J.K. Rowling to tweet it out.
Yeah. Maybe
Oh,
she's
wizards
listening.
love going to the
They love
movies.
the movies, and they're three-dimensional.
They don't eat popcorn because it's
Because
gross.
they don't even need, like, their newspapers are practically movies, and their pictures, their portraits are practically movies. Like, they don't really need movies.
They're in a movie.
Yeah, you can replay memories just by touching your wand to your head. Like, don't know if they need movies.
April 26th,
1992?
2020 was the last we did a podcast. Was the World War II movie quest?
Dang.
Oh, wow.
It was right before we switched over. Sorry. Anyway,
Fun fact.
I don't know, man. It's just there's no way though. Like there's absolutely no way.
Well, you're
for
assuming
Garrett's to do it.
You could still bootleg a movie in the sense that you could somehow get a copy of the film and then do an unlicensed showing of that movie and charge people for it.
Yeah, I guess that would be a bootleg, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would.
Like an unlicensed screening of a movie would be bootlegging.
And or having Nazis seized a lot of films and theaters. And let's say
Oh, like that French lady who's dating that black guy.
Yeah.
exactly.
And it's very flammable.
Yeah.
And let's say that they, I don't know, wanted to make profits because Nazis also did profits. Like they hoarded treasure. They like sold things off. They
That's
hoarded
true. That's true. They're
paintings
bandits.
and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like
They had to pay
raccoons
for
in
their
that
war
way.
efforts. But like, let's say they figured out a way to make film would be like distributing it. So they play the projection and then they have a camera going in one of the aisles and then they sell all of those copies.
You guys have convinced me. I hate
Eamon
to
Gott.
do it, but we're going to go ahead and go with Eamon.
Amen Gut.
Famous Eamon. All right. Hit us with
His cookies are so good.
Hit us with the last one. Oh, man.
All right, Bert. It's
we're,
time.
We're close to like the darkest time.
We are now up with Burt Gummer versus Amen Gut.
We're like an hour and 30 minutes into Thrice Upon a Time. Anything can happen right now.
All right, boys. The final predict for the Grand Champion battle. Who has a better chance of defeating he who shall not be named?
Dang.
Oh man.
Glad that Voldemort didn't win this one. Last one. So Amen Gut.
Well, like the events of today, like have led us to a nonsensical, like that would have been nonsensical. But the dangerous part is we've set a precedent of Aemon Goth beating him twice. Like not ultimate defeat, but he defeated him in two different predicts.
Interesting. Wow. Interesting. So already we've shown he's beat two people.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's something that has to be said about them being the same actor. And I know in universe, they wouldn't be an actor, but I feel like Voldemort, there'd be some kind of like, what? Like this guy looks exactly like me when I had a nose.
Amen Gut was also a real person.
Yeah, this is true. But we're talking about movies, right?
I guess.
Well,
yeah.
this is confusing. Yeah, we're talking about
You know,
Ralph
yeah,
Fiennes'
because when we
portrayal of
wrote
him?
Aemon Goth, We didn't even know the character's name. The intention was Rafe Fiennes' character in Schindler's List.
Yeah.
But
So
we're
Rafe,
also
Rafe Fiennes' portrayal of Aemon Guth.
Can I just throw out that I don't think either of these guys stand a chance against Voldemort?
No, Lord Voldemort would win.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. The odds have been against
They're like mere
old Bert Gummer
They're
before.
mere mortals.
They're just
Like I was so
Kedavra.
ready to like argue for Bert, but like
No, well, wait. Like, let's think about this. Voldemort has to point his wand at something, or say a spell and point. And in that time, Bert Gummer can shoot a gun quicker than that.
yeah, but did he already destroy all of his Horcruxes?
Yeah.
I mean, he can at least wound him and find him.
But that's the point of the Horcrux. And then how's he going to destroy the Horcrux? He has no magical ability.
I don't know.
Is the sword
We've
of
never
Gryffindor
seen.
going to show up for Bert Gummer?
I don't think we've
so.
ever seen wizards up against bullets. I don't think anyone's tried to fire a bullet at a wizard.
Yeah, I'm just saying
I've never seen.
like wizard versus muggle, especially one of the most powerful,
Yeah.
the most evil wizard. You're probably not going to stand a very good chance. Which is really my argument for Mulligan and pick another predict.
How do wizards do against explosives?
I don't know. There's not a lot
Seamus
of...
keeps blowing himself up. He
Yeah.
seems all right.
Yeah, he's only...
But that's magic explosives.
He's got the Daffy Duck effect. His bill's like on the back of his head.
I don't know how Muggle ordinances do against wizard bodies.
I can't imagine that they would. You know, they would just invent some spell that's never been mentioned before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of the problem
Explodus
with Deus Ex Machina.
Protectis.
Like, I'm pretty sure you could, like, assassinate a wizard by walking up behind them, shooting him in the back of the head. You know what I mean?
It's clear that they
I'm sure
still
you
get
could do
cut.
that.
Like, they still are mortal.
I'm just saying this wizard specifically with all the Horcruxes
the
and everything that
fail-safes
he's
he's
done.
got?
Yeah.
But even what you're saying
undefeatable.
sounds more like a Nazi move than a Bert Gummer move. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure that happens in Schindler's List. Terrible.
I mean, I feel like Bert Gummer would have to do like an inconspicuous way of killing this man because he knows he couldn't take him like face to face.
Bert Gummer would strap a bunch of dynamite to a
Bring him
remote
into a
control
trip.
car.
Yep.
Drive the remote control car up to Voldemort and then
This is
explode him.
stupid. Let's pull another prediction. This is so stupid.
Okay, the second predict of Bert Gooms versus Amangut. Oh, yes.
Oh no.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
It's bad.
Who is more likely to appease Gendo Akari?
No.
Amangut. Come on.
Yeah,
This guy will get anything done.
unfortunately.
Yeah. he produces results even though they're bad.
Amanguth is actually the exact kind of guy that Gendo Akari's looking for.
I mean, he really is.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. But I just... I like how we were like, at one point, I think Kevin Spacey was in the jar, and we were like, no, we're not talking about Kevin Spacey. But it's like, literal war criminal is now the champion of Peeps and Predicts. Feels a bit weird, guys.
I mean,
That's where we're
there's
at.
no argument. Definitely Amangut.
I didn't see Bert Gummer's reign coming to an end anytime soon. And I definitely didn't see it being as unfortunate as this.
If anything,
But facts is facts.
I mean,
this
yeah.
is the
Yeah.
most integral part of anything that we do.
Integrity is what this segment's all about. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, Aemon Guth, and we're really gonna have to. I'm gonna have
Guaranteed.
to practice
Amen.
the pronunciation in
Gut.
Amen Gut.
There you go.
Gut.
He wins.
Wow.
Great.
Short may he reign. Hopefully, we'll get rid of him in 2 weeks.
What an ending to a magical episode.
I just want to apologize to everyone that them's the rules. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Well, wait. Gummer has been dethroned. That's crazy.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, nuts.
He had a long reign.
Do a 21 gun salute for Gummer now.
Did you count
I think
it
that
out?
was close.
I might be close.
Okay, you got to count
I'll go
it.
count them later.
Let us know
yeah,
in the
let us know.
comments if he got close. And then we'll just shoot him off on the next episode.
All right, y'all. Well, that's it for the podcast today. I got to say, we got Candyman coming up
Oh my gosh.
next
Hey, be
week.
careful. Don't
say
talk
that
about it
again.
too much.
Candyman.
Oh,
Make sure you go
shit,
check out the original so we can talk about Candyman. And just to be clear, we're talking about the remake produced by Jordan Peele. Candyman, only in theaters.
Oh, no. There's only one more.
Can you also check out Truman Show in EdTV? We're talking about that soon. And then in a couple
Get prepared
weeks,
for that.
Citizen Kane for 80th anniversary.
Crazy.
Wow, we got some crazy stuff coming up.
Really, we're
Yeah.
just buying time till the most wonderful time of the year.
October.
Spooky season's upon us, y'all. Get ready.
Spook month.
Thanks for checking us out, everyone. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Please help us out on Apple Podcasts with a 5-star review. It really does help us out. Get above the ranks.
Let us know what you got in your sorting hat quiz. We'd love to know.
Tell us
Yeah.
what class you're in. Not class. House. Don't tell me where your classes are.
You pleb.
Upper
Yeah.
middle.
You muggle.
Bye.